One look, but you play me like a game. I can see it took one look and now you stare at me the same. It took one look, but you play me like a game.
Hello, everybody. We are here with day one of Rise of the Summoners, a new event brought to you by the people behind Learning Fives. My name is Niberia, and I will be your first caster of the day, joined here by Meowing Cat. Meowing Cat, say hello to the lovely folks.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome, welcome.
And all right, before I let him say anything further, we're going to introduce a little bit behind what Learning Fives is and what Rise of the Summoners is. Learning Fives is essentially an improvement program for those who want to experience what a team environment is like, and more importantly, want to improve as a team. You'll get a coach. We have 5-week sessions. You'll be assigned a coach twice a week, 2 to 3 hours. You'll work with your coach doing scrimmages or even just ranked fives together. And we have weekly show matches, and we sometimes have a tournament at the end, sometimes not. Our next session is going to be January 4th. But I know what you're all here for. You're all here for Rise of the Summoners. Now, this is a little bit different from what we normally do in that instead of a 5-week program, it's a 1 to 2 day program. Realistically, it's 1 because the first day here is North America. Tomorrow it'll be EU. What we're doing here is we have 10 players, 5 on each side. We have 5 sets of matches, and each of them are assigned a coach, and each of them are going to have VOD review after the game, and they're going to get shoutcasted here by Meowing Cat and I. And the first teams we have coming up are going to be Team Raptors and Team Wolves, which will be our first match of silver players. And we'll have another bracket of silvers, and then gold, platinum, and diamond.
Yeah, don't forget that we also have EU matches tomorrow, a bit earlier because time zone differences, but we will also have a lined up schedule of multiple games for tomorrow. I believe it's 4 games instead of 5 as today. So that will be interesting as well.
Yep, and soon we will be heading into picks and bans, and we will see between Team Raptors and Team Wolves. We have... Actually, we can just introduce the players now while we wait. For Team Raptors, we have Best Acer in the top lane, Raptalon jungle, Cringy Yasuo main with a lovely name in the mid lane, I'm Not Sweet Tea on AD carry, the Foodie Monster on support. And for the red side, Team Wolves, we will be having Hot Handles in the top lane, the Deb guy in the jungle. We actually might have a substitution in the mid lane, but I'm not sure. But I am sure that we're going to have K Subby in the AD carry position and OM on support.
Is
So
it
will we...
Aoyam?
It might be. You know, I'm never good at pronouncing team names.
Those are some hard names.
Yeah, you know, sometimes they just throw random phonemes at us, and I'm not a linguist. I'm not really good at assembling them together and getting it right, so I do apologize if I got anything wrong.
Yeah, looks like we should be heading into Champ Select shortly. Both teams are readied up. And there we have it.
All right, we're coming in. The first bands. Are you excited, Meowing Cat? Because I know I am. All right.
So Champ Select is pre-done using pro drafts. So that way, people that don't own every champion can still get their champion they want without it affecting the match quality. Everyone is in LCS order, and they will be picking their champion for their role. So what you see might not actually be the order that was initially picked in the pro draft.
Which does make things a little different from a spectator side of things. You're like, well, why would they pick Nautilus into Twisted Fate top? What is that? Well, maybe it was a bait and switch like we saw between TSM and UOL all those years ago at IEM, or something similar. So before you start judging the order of picks, keep that in mind. But we do see the Rakan and Akali and Tristana bans coming out from Team Raptors. And in response, there's the Yasuo, Kayn, and Evelynn bans from Team Wolves. I can only speak to one of those, the Yasuo ban, which makes sense because the mid laner of Team Raptors is a Yasuo main. Okay,
Yeah.
Meowing Cat, I'll toss it over to you for the hard-hitting analysis.
All right. So already we have a Cho'Gath picked, which was not in the pro draft. They're just going completely off the wall, I'm guessing.
That's okay. We like to keep it crazy. We like to keep it exciting.
Spicing things up a bit. Very strong top laner. A lot of kill pressure with some extra damage to back it up. They have a lot of lockdown, Sejuani Cho'Gath, so potentially early game can shut down this Nasus.
on that threat where he can just two-shot your towers, or even with something like Demolish, one of the runes that is now available from the preseason patches, he might even be able to one-shot it. And that becomes scarier and scarier as the game goes on. So at the very least, Team Raptors is going to want to look to, if not close things out early, get a significant enough lead that Nasus can't just AFK in the top lane and then take an inhibitor.
Yeah. Something else to mention is that Davies Me, the Ahri in the mid lane, it was a substitute player, and they did switch around the champ select a little bit to allow this person to play a champion that they are comfortable on. So instead of a Xerath mid lane that we were initially thinking we were going to have, they have an Ahri instead, which is kind of throwing a wrench in Team Raptors' plan a little bit, possibly. But we're trying to have a good, fun learning experience here, so we're doing our best to adapt to the situation.
Now, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not necessarily a fan of either team's team compositions. For Team Wolves, it looks scarily and eerily similar to what I get in my solo queue games, which informs a little bit of how this game is going to play out. Nobody's going to communicate and everyone's going to die. No, this is a 5-person setting, so we're expecting more communication than we'd see in solo queue. However, I do have some concerns over the fact that their front line is someone like a Nasus, who isn't necessarily super reliable in peeling or taking anyone down, and they have the rest of the team is fairly squishy. Lulu is there to provide a lot of her enchantress abilities like Whimsy and her W transmog. I forget what it's actually called, but her ultimate also has a knock up in health increase, so she has a lot of peel on her own, and you can say that Charm and Wither are also very good, but generally speaking, these aren't super CC heavy champions coming out here. Whereas on the other side, it's almost full AD.
Yeah, you have the GP in the mid lane and the Lucian in AD carry, and then you have 2 tanks in the top side of the map with a Karma who does do some magic damage, but not nearly enough to compensate for it. So if you look over to the side of Wolves, that Nasus, if he just stacks armor, late game he's going to be very hard to kill. You know, the Deb guy on that Kha'Zix, he could opt into Ninja Tabbies. Everyone could opt into Ninja Tabbies, and they'd have a really hard time killing them. And then you have the double super tanks against a Vayne Lulu. Late game, Ksubi on that Vayne is just going to shred through that Cho'Gath health with that W.
Yeah, and while I do like the composition that was coming out from Team Raptors, at least initially with the Cho'Gath and Sejuani, and even the Gangplank to some degree has some synergy there, able to proc Sejuani's passive to get the stuns out faster, I really don't feel like this team has much of a chance after the mid game, which will end up with this dynamic that we see a lot in games like this, that where one team has the heavy late game composition, where you basically either win within 25 minutes or at least amass an incredible lead by that point, or you die and you just straight up lose the lane. I'm not a fan of the Ignite on Gangplank either. I would hope to see like Exhaust perhaps. He does have the natural cleanse with his W, but that might not end up being enough against this heavy damage composition coming from Team Wolves. So I could be wrong on this, but it's going to be, at the very least, heavy emphasis on the early game for Team Raptors.
Yeah. And while they are heavy damage, Team Wolves, they are also very squishy overall. They have 4 squishy members. So this does lead to the problem that they can get just AoE melted. Cho'Gath Q, Sejuani ults, GP barrels into the ulti. You have Lucian with his Q that can do piercing damage, and the Karma RQ if she's poking them out. If they don't have that Nasus just soaking all of that up in the front line, their backline can just get completely demolished.
Yeah, that is certainly a concern. So we'll have to see how this plays out in game. We'll be back in about a minute and introduce you for game 1 of the first match here of day 1 of Rise of the Summoners. See you then. Hello, everybody, and we are here in Game 1 of Rise of the Summoners Day 1. I'm still Navira. I'm still joined here by Meowing Cat, and I am super excited to be bringing you this sweet, sweet silver action. But before we get into anything too exciting, we're going to introduce these lovely teams that have so valiantly signed up to be made fun of. I mean, casted. On the blue side, we have Team Raptors with Best Acer in the top lane, Raptalon in the jungle, Cringy Yasuo main in the mid, I'm Not Sweet Tea on AD carry, and the Foodie Monster on support.
Yeah, and on the red side, we have Team Wolves with Hot Handles in the top side, Deb Guy in the jungle, Davies Me in the mid lane, Ksubi in AD carry, and Aoyam in support.
And I am just super looking forward to seeing this level 1, because this is usually where we see a lot of teams go full ape. Especially our lower division teams in Learning 5s, which, by the way, I fully approve of. Sometimes you can legitimately get a good lead here if you take a 5-man, but it looks like both teams are taking the safer 3-2 split on both top and bottom, so nothing too crazy coming out just yet.
Yeah, well, you say that this is a low tier thing, that, full ape mode, but you see this even in higher tier games. You'll watch LCS and you'll see these crazy 5-man invades with his first bloods coming out left and right. So it can be a legitimate strategy.
It can, and it's so exciting when it is, but I also respect the fact that they want to play carefully because it's so easy to mess up on a level 1, and neither team really has a super strong level 1. What we are seeing that's interesting that deviates from what I'll call normal play is, first of all, the Raptors start, which I haven't seen very often, as well as the topside start for Kha'Zix, the Deb guy deciding to take that over the stronger bot lane leash.
Yeah, so the Deb guy not going for the stronger leash, instead kind of taking Nasus for a really long leash. Hopefully Hot Handles doesn't miss any XP here, actually. No, he's not, but he's going to miss a few CS, it looks like. But he's wanting to path towards that bottom side and get that bot lane rolling, because if this Vayne can snowball earlier rather than later, that will mean that just Lulu Vayne can just win this game single-handedly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Lulu Vayne we didn't really speak about much in Champion Select, but it is...
We did speak about it destroying the Cho'Gath a bit.
Well, yeah, we spoke about that, which is almost guaranteed. Ooh, Cringy Yasuo main getting low. Not going to get popped, luckily. We're not having first blood just yet. We might be able to get a few salient points out. But the Lulu Vayne combination is so powerful. It's something like... I mean, it's basically Juggermaw, but with Vayne, which means you'll see the plays be even hyphier, as Kog'Maw sort of likes to sit down in the back line, whereas Vayne players, they like to get up in your face. Yeah, tumble forward and then flash condemn into not a wall is the most common play you'll see. But I expect Ksubi, if he's confident enough to pick the Vayne in this kind of setting, I'm expecting to see some pretty good play out of him.
We already see Raptalon going towards that top side, but Ghost Poro taken by Hot Handles actually spotted him out, although the gank is still going through.
Uh-oh. Looks like Hot Handles might be in a little bit of trouble. Raptalon actually lower than Hot at this point, so unfortunate gank there. Meanwhile, Deb Guy looking bottom lane. I think he may have gotten spotted out or spooked away from that, deciding not to go for it.
Yeah, and so...
Oh,
looking for a
Rupture coming down. Stun might come out from Raptalon. It does, but no auto to follow, which means the damage won't come through as well. Raptalon, really low after that.
Yeah, and this is allowing the Deb guy to just get free reign. Look at this red buff counter jungle that he's getting off. Raptalon spent so much time up there that he's going to be losing a buff out of it. And imagine if he was here in this bot side. He could maybe get a kill on Ksubi instead, so... That top lane gank early on, going from blue to wolves to top, or Raptors to wolves to blue, not working out, having a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate to see pathing like that not work out. I think might have been a problem in the planning phase, but we'll see if somehow it turns into a benefit. I do not expect it to, however. I expect Deb Guy to basically take over the jungle from this point. It looks like we might have a 2 versus 2 in the mid lane here as Deb Guy comes in for the gank. Oh no, Raptalon a little bit slow, and he's low on health. Cringy Yasuo main getting low, getting ignited, having to flash away. Nothing else being blown, but he is going to have to base, which is going to give Davies Me a little bit more time to CS. Currently down about 9 CS, which is not what I would have expected.
Davies Me charmed a minion there, kind of getting impatient. If he just held it, maybe he could have even just flash charmed for a guaranteed kill.
Speaking of impatience, Hot Handles going in for a Q onto a minion right into the face of Best Acer. Polymorph going down in the bot lane. Nothing too exciting so far. We've seen a few ganks go awry. I don't know if Dev Guy actually wants to gank Best Acer. I don't think this would be a good idea. With Nasus, you kind of want to let him sit. So Dev Guy's looking like he's zoning off a little bit, getting a sneaky experience steal from the top laner. I respect that move.
Yeah, and we see Kasubi taking Press the Attack here. Now, Press the Attack was nerfed on 724A, and Lethal Tempo and Fleet Footwork were buffed. And both of which are very viable options on Vayne. I mean, if she gets that Lethal Tempo, she can just melt through a front line. And there is a double super tank front line that she's against. Oh, in the top lane, though.
Hot Handle's a little bit low. Not going to get taken out. Best Acer coming out ahead on that one. Dev Guy looking for a gank, but I don't think he's going to be able to get anything. Even with Leap Flash, would just barely cover the distance. There we go. Void Spikes to show him
That
who's
is
boss.
something. He did get something. About
Yep,
50 damage.
You're correct. But you were talking about keystones there for Kasubi, or rather, runes, I guess. Are they still keystones?
Runes, yeah. Or, there are keystones, which are runes. You both
They're
statements are
keystone runes. It's great. Press the Attack really isn't all that great on Vayne, and I will explain why in a second. Silver Bolts is really good. It would proc on the third hit, but Press the Attack doesn't buff true damage. Oops. So
Yeah, and
really...
also, Press the Attack did get nerfed, so the third auto doesn't even apply the bonus damage anymore.
Oh, okay, so it's double painful. So Press the Attack,
Yeah.
not the best choice here.
Instead, you don't even
Obviously-
get anything until you get your fourth auto attack off, which Vayne's auto pattern is kind of you want to go for 3 autos and then just dip. So
Mhm.
it's even like asking you to get more, which is not really in her play pattern.
We'll have to see if that becomes a problem, though. We've seen, I'll say, less optimal rune choices do much better. We saw Levi take the Glacial Augment on Nidalee and do... He did things. We'll just put it that way. We did see Raptolon taking in and stealing the Gromp there from the Dev Guy. A lot of counter jungling coming out this game, which I'm happy to see, because that is a very powerful strategy, especially in the preseason right now. So it's good to see both junglers both taking note and advantage of that.
Yeah, and if you look at the junglers, you see a really big play difference here. You have a hyper carry versus a hyper tank. One of them went boots trackers. The other one has their jungle item and then a serrated Dirk. You can see the playstyle differences, and right now there is a bit of a gold lead towards Raptolon, who's just been farming more efficiently than the Dev Guy so far. But
Also an
it's
experience
pretty
lead.
close. Yeah, it's getting close.
Yeah, so we're seeing the pathing of neither could be said to be perfect, but I think at this point Raptolon is proven to have a better pathing choice. And on the subject of runes really quickly, what would you say is the possible benefit of Ghost Poro over something like Zombie Ward?
Yeah,
Now,
so Hot Handles...
hold on.
Oh,
engaging the bot lane, Aoyam getting pretty low, Exhaust going down, Condemn going on to I'm Not Sweet Tea. Kasubi is going to try and get the kill here on I'm Not Sweet Tea. Aoyam having to back off, as is Sweet Tea. So, going to be a pretty good trade in favor of Kasubi, because if your AD carry is higher than the support, generally that's safer. AD carry losing farm is really bad. Support losing farm, well, that's just playing support.
yeah.
Ooh, Raptolon getting low here. There is me taking the Scuttle Crab. Oh no, he's in a little bit of trouble here, getting stunned up. Raptolon going to survive. The flash coming out. Oh no!
Dev Guy!
The stun out to Dev Guy, getting Tim taken out as well. A double kill for Cringy Yasuo main. Nothing cringy about that play just now. Oh
that was
my.
so unfortunate. He flashed Kha'Zix leapt into the wall. Oh no.
We've
and then
all
the
been
top side,
there.
Hot Handles here.
Oh, Hot Handle's ulting to try and survive. Best Acer gonna try and take him out, but Hot Handle's with the flash. I'm not sure what just happened, but I know that Hot Handles is alive, so he must have won the trade.
That
Both
was such a
flashes
back and
blown.
forth.
And
Yeah.
it looks like after that trade, we're gonna have a little bit of a state of the game update. 10 CS up for Hot Handles in the top lane. 13 CS up from Raptolon. Remember, jungle CS isn't as much of an indicator. However, worth
Look at
noting.
Hot Handles
Oh,
here.
Raptolon, I don't know what you're doing, buddy. Stun going out. Gonna get the damage proc by Dev Guy. Dev Guy says, "What are you doing, buddy?" And he just pops him one. That was
Yeah.
really poor decision making from Raptalon.
Both junglers had a little bit of a Hehe XD death there.
Yeah.
I want to say though that, so we were touching on the runes. We
Mhm.
saw Hot Handles live because of his Ghost Poro, seeing Raptalon in that tri-bush really early on.
Right.
He had 2 trinkets in his inventory. If he just used those plus Zombie Ward, he would have been just fine as well. So I do think Zombie Ward is almost always the superior choice, just to cover that topic.
Is there ever a time when Ghost Poro is just better?
The one time it really benefits you is when you can have 2 places covered at once, when you normally wouldn't have that. So like mid lane, when you only have 1 trinket, and you trinket 1 bush, then Ghost Poro the other, that's like the only time it ever helps.
Right.
And even then,
Oh.
Zombie Wards are normally really
Meanwhile,
good, but
Hot Handle's getting ganked here. Stun gonna come out from Raptalon eventually. Damage going down. Hot Handle's gonna ult. Dead guy coming in. Looks like it's gonna be a full-on 2v2. Best Acer getting a little bit low, as is Raptalon. Looks like Hot Handles is getting low as well. Dev guy gonna barely survive. Double kill for Hot Handles, and this is a scary dog champ.
he has been stacking. He is gonna bring Decane in the early game.
He's just taking.
301 on this Nasus at 11 minutes. We were talking about how they were gonna try to exploit this Nasus early game. They have just been. He has been clapping people. I mean, how many stacks does he have right now? 162 at 11 minutes. That is pretty decent. But
It's
just
from
that
all those
kill goal
plus
alone,
sixes he just got.
That Triforce that he's gonna get so early is gonna give him so much added damage.
Yep, he's already got the Phage, already got the Sheen, already got the Stinger. All 3 component parts ready and raring to go, which means he only needs, I think, like 200 more gold. Oh, Kasubi getting the stun on I'm Not Sweet Tea. Polymorph going down to prevent the re-engage. Great play from the bot lane of Team Wolves right there. That's a really obnoxious training pattern if you're on Team Raptors, because you can't really do much against it. Like, Foodie Monster could get the Mantra Q, which is, okay, it's poke damage if you land it, but if you don't, your AD carry just kind of doesn't get to do anything.
Yeah, and this bot lane really needed to pressure an early lead, but with so much focus on the top side of the map this game, not getting any ganks in the bot lane means Kasubi and Awiam are just scaling up for free. And Karma, Lucian are the embodiment of early game. Their laning counterparts are late game monsters. Lulu Vayne scales twice as hard as Lucian Karma, if not even harder. This is one of the most early versus late game focused lanes we will see.
Oh, Hot Handles getting a lot of damage down onto Best Acer. This lane has gone really poorly really quickly. That 10 CS lead ballooning to a 19 CS lead and a 3 kill and 1 assist lead. That is huge.
Yeah.
The gold differential alone is 1400. That's ridiculous. So we're going to see Hot Handles possibly becoming too hot to handle here in the top lane.
Get me
But-
out, Niberia.
We saw in the
Oh,
bot lane,
no.
however, Raptalon going for a gank, but I'm not sure if he was seen or if Awiam and Kasubi just kind of had the feeling that there was someone coming, and they played safely enough that Raptalon wasn't able to capitalize. Meanwhile,
Oh, Cringy Yasuo might be a little close. Oh.
oh, nope, they're just Dev guy just popping out saying, "Hey, remember this?" Yeah,
That was a really
still
good
got
call
it.
to not go in there, actually. They were getting collapsed on by the bot side. Really good awareness
Mm-hmm.
there. They were. I would have tunnel vision. I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie.
absolutely.
I would
would've
have Kha'Zix
jumped in.
E'd RE ulted in, but really good.
They might have
discipline
gotten the
there.
kill, but they would have gotten taken out afterwards. Ooh, Hot Handles getting some more damage down onto Best
He's gonna drop the
Acer.
ulti?
Best Acer probably gonna die here. Nope. Hot Handles backing out, popping the ultimate and flash queuing in. Not sure if that was necessary or even smart, but it was cool. So
It
I'll
worked.
take it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, and look at this. Already, this Vayne has just been getting free farm, matching the Lucian, meaning that she is going to be getting some nasty trades down. I do think that she's not getting really any value from her pressy attack. We cannot see it because we don't have a client that will let us hover over keystones, but
Right. Oh, Hot Handles versus Raptalon. Hot Handles has
No
no
mana.
mana whatsoever, but he's still winning the fight. Run,
he
Raptalon.
only costs 20 mana.
This is
so
true.
he can get
Literally,
some
passive mana regen would be enough. Okay, with passive mana regen, it looks like he'd get one every, I want to say, 8 seconds.
Yeah, around that roughly.
So he could possibly still have won that trade if they had kept fighting, but smartly backing off. Duskblade already coming out for the dev guy. Uh-oh. Davey is me having to pop that Spirit Rush to stay safe. I'm not Sweet Tea. Getting really low. I don't like that Condemn. At all.
Yeah, kind of just using it to get extra damage out. It uses up a lot of mana too. You don't really want to use it unless you get a guaranteed stun or you need to use it to peel.
Right,
if you just
and
use it in your
here's-
trade patterns, you're gonna be running really fast.
And the other thing about that, we were talking about the keystones a little bit, and Press the Attack is the single worst keystone to use that trading pattern on, because the Condemn is the first thing that would give you the Press the Attack bonus. Out of that engage specifically. Oh, teleport coming down. Meanwhile, they're doing the Rift Herald. Huh. Teleport canceled, but they're still doing the Rift Herald, so they're going to get this. Good move here.
Wait, Best Acer didn't ulti it.
Oh.
That was a very large misplay because Best Acer wants to be there for that Rift Herald. It is a free feast stack for him. You can get up to 6 non-champion, non-epic monster stacks. That was a free one for his team, and they instead smited it with Raptalon's Sejuani.
And it's the only one you can get that's not from a champion on the top side of the map. Oh, Raptalon in a little bit of trouble, but might survive. Ooh, flash from Dev Guy getting denied by Raptalon, but it looks like he's
Herald
going to
was protecting
survive?
them.
Oh, Herald. You are too pure for this world.
Now, it is a bit interesting to think that they would pop it so early. They could have maybe held it and then forced down 1 or 2 full towers with it. Instead, they only get a chunk on that mid tower, which mid tower is very valuable, but they don't even get that first blood tower gold. So
I do think that was the goal, however, of popping it early. But they knew that Hot Handles was in the top lane uncontested, and they said, okay, we either get the mid tower right now, or we lose first tower guaranteed.
but
do
they
think
popped it and then they just doubled down
Well,
on it,
right.
and they lost even more. They gambled and they lost.
And I don't think it was necessarily the right decision, but I can see the logic coming from there. What I
Yeah.
think they should have maybe done is said, okay, we have this, we're going to lose top tower. What can we do to snowball this into more than top first blood tower is going to be? Oh no, Hot Handle's coming in. The cleanse coming down onto the Wither from Nasus, but I don't know if it's going to be a problem even. Hot Handle's just going in on Raptalon, getting the stun up on him, but it doesn't really matter. Hot Handle's had ult, and he is pretty tanky, so blowing that Gangplank flash already. Raptalon doesn't have flash still, so if Hot Handles gets into a fight at this point, he basically wins it.
Yeah,
And
the
that's-
way that Nasus ult works is you get 50% cooldown reduction on your Nasus Qs. So what you're going to want to do is as soon as you get into that first Q range, you're going to want to drop that ulti and just start queuing away. In that top lane, he had to waste a flash because he held his ulti
Oh,
long,
no.
and oh, in the jungle.
It looks like Davey is me might die. No, flashing over the wall to save himself. Hot Handles trying to go in. Getting the Kleptomancy proc? Oh, that Gangplank got the Klepto on him. Okay. I understand cause and effect, ladies and gentlemen. I swear. I have passed kindergarten. Not a whole lot coming out. Oh, but the Condemn gonna follow from onto I'm Not Sweet Tea, and it looks like Subi might be able to get more damage down. Not gonna happen. Best Acer, look into position. This is...
Look at Best Acer here.
Oh, Best Acer getting pretty low. Probably gonna get taken out by the next Q. Ultimate blown onto Deb Guy. I don't... Don't do that. Let me back up and explain why. You want to get stacks of health with your ultimate feast, and you don't ever want to use it as a combat ability unless it's a chunk on an important target that's about to die and wouldn't without it, or if it's the killing blow on an important target. Uh-oh. Meanwhile, gank coming in onto Kasubi. Kasubi not getting snared up because of the flash away. Culling coming out. Kasubi having blown both summoners, saving himself. Ultimate going down onto Aeon. Both bot laners without any summoners, but Hot Handles coming in for the 1v3. It looks like he might be able to get one. I'm Not Sweet Tea, incredibly low, out of mana at this point. The flash Q is going to be enough to kill him. Foodie Monster's going to be the next one to follow. Raptalon, are you going to drop as well? The pop drop and rolling over people from Hot Handles. He's on fire! Quadra kill coming out for Hot Handles here in the top lane. And Team Wolves is just dominating.
He's smashing their faces in with that Nasus. He is crazy. Look at this guy.
8-0-1.
327 stacks. It's not even that crazy for Nasus, but that gold he has, he's getting items like crazy. He's gonna get a Righteous Glory. He's just gonna mow him down.
He already did. I mean, he doesn't even need the Righteous Glory at this point. He can just build whatever he wants. He's already just mowing people over.
No, but he's just gonna run at them 5 million miles per hour. Nasus going vroom vroom, smack smack.
You know,
Hitting him like with a baseball bat, breaking their legs. They're
now
never
I
gonna
can't. I've
dance
seen this
again.
before. I've seen this before, and you know where? From my nightmares. I'm not afraid of anything more in this game than an incredibly fed Nasus who has the potential to get more fed. He's 8-0-1, 50 CS up on his opponent at 20 minutes. 20 minutes. There's still at least another minute of the game left. Surrender's available, but no one's going to do that in a competitive setting. So that's not happening. This Nasus is going to be so frightening. He's 3.8k up on Best Acer. I mean, we've been talking about him for a little bit, but he did just single-handedly secure a quadra kill.
Yeah, and I mean,
So,
if you're on Raptor side, you gotta think, how do you win this game? You don't have a tank shredder. You have GP Lucian. They're burst damage carries. You know, they do have some sustained damage, but not nearly anything similar to that level of a Vayne or a Kog'Maw.
uh-oh.
And they're against that level of a carry on the enemy team. It's
Look
just-
how little damage he just took.
Yeah, this Nasus is building defensively with one offense item, and he is just almost impossible to kill while dealing insane amounts of damage.
Normally, if you have one fed member on the enemy team who doesn't deal like a ton of damage, oh, hold on, Condemn going down successfully onto Foodie Monster, getting a little bit low, culling coming out from I'm Not Sweet Tea, but he's going to be the next target. Kusubi, ultimate use coming out. I'm Not Sweet Tea going to be the first one to fall. Foodie Monster flashing away, both summoners blown from that bot lane, and it's not going to be enough. The double kill coming out for Kusubi, it could be a triple if Raptalon decides, nope, he was smart about it. All right, so here's the thing, look. Normally, if you have someone scary like Hot Handles, not to mention Kusubi, who just got a huge advantage in the bot lane there, what you would do is say, okay, he doesn't have a ton of damage. Here's what we do. We kill everyone else around him. And with Lucian Gangplank, that might even be possible if you get the good barrel chain combo into Lucian, because he does a lot of burst damage as well. And you could just burst those squishies around Hot Handles. Here's where that falls apart, though. Hot Handles can just kill you. And he did. He literally walked in and killed 4 members of the enemy team. You can't really play around that.
This is just a slow, painful death, it looks like. I mean, look at Hot Handles here. He's just going
Oh,
under
he's going in the
tower.
top lane, using his ultimate. He could literally, he's just going to sit there and tank it for a few seconds because it doesn't matter to him at all. There's 4 dedicated here in the bot lane, which, great, you might get Kusubi and Aoyam. You're not going to, but you might have. And Hot Handles, in the meantime, is just going to decimate this top lane tower. And this top laner, it doesn't matter. He can do what he wants at this point.
Yeah.
So they have to find a way to either stop the split push, doesn't seem likely, or win around the map. And so far, they've not really found the opportunities to do that.
Yeah, and we see I'm Not Sweet Tea going for okay.
Dev guy.
Alright, Dev guy's just backing off. He's getting a little spicy. Just heard me talking. He's like, I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna let you finish.
But I'm not.
But we see I'm Not Sweet Tea going for a crit build on Lucian. And so he obviously assessed that they need that sustained damage. But
Hot Handles
looking like
getting
he's
some
taking
damage.
some damage for once. No mana.
Righteous Glory popped. He's going to use the Blast Plant to get himself out. It looks like Raptalon's going to be able to follow. Cringy Yasuo
Is
Man
he
come
gonna
down.
die?
This is how you take out Hot Handles. You wait until he's completely and then you have a chance. With the Charm going down onto Raptalon, Davey as me might be able to get the kill on this enemy jungler. Ignite going down as well. Cringy Yasuo Man getting low. Hot Handles is low himself, but Best Acer isn't going to be able to get the ultimate for the kill. Oh, he is! I misspoke too soon. Davey as me trying to get the kills onto Best Acer and Cringy Yasuo main, but not going to happen. Still, that was a 1-for-1.
No, but they have them surrounded. They can maybe go for a kill here. Dev guy.
Oh,
playing
Dev
really
guy
safe.
looking for it.
I think he could have. They used all their stuff killing Hot Handles.
Well, I think the thing here is Dev guy evolved Q second. And if you don't have that leap evolution, you don't really want to jump in, even if you'll get the kill, because you don't have a way out anymore.
He still had Flash, and
That's true.
They used all their stuff killing Hot Handles. No Feast, no GP ult, was on cooldown from earlier. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it was safe enough that he wasn't going to get 100 to 0'd, and with Davies me backing him up, even if he dies, they get 2 kills for it, so...
But we did see
Probably-
the important thing, which was Hot Handles can still die. This is theoretically possible. If you
This
get
is
the
a David
perfect...
versus Goliath game.
It really is, and it's the David versus Goliath when Goliath is out of mana. Like, that's all that was. I'm pretty sure if Hot Handles had had even half a bar of mana, that would have gone vastly differently. However, he didn't. That's the important thing. We can talk about hypotheticals as much as we want, but just using evidence. We saw no mana, free kill. Oh, meanwhile, Condemn going down onto Cringy Yasuo, man. That Stair's Gauge getting popped. Important-ish cooldown. Because now you can
they're
just
getting
burst him.
surrounded. Look at this
Uh-oh.
mini-map. Hot Handles followed up with Aeom, just running him down. I'm not Sweet Tea and Foodie Monster are just stuck.
They're gonna go around. They're gonna try. Their team
This is
is
a
paying them
marathon
the way
now.
to go.
They're going into
telling-
the base.
Oh, they're gonna sack the towers. Hold on, Hot Handles gonna miss the E. Are they gonna get the execute? Is it gonna be the world's first
The
League of
GP
Legends
wasn't
defensive touchdown? The GP ult misses. Oh no, the Wither going down and the E. Hot Handles is gonna get the double kill. Oh no, he's not. Dev guy's mean.
And that was actually Lucian and Karma's. Oh.
Oh, Kasumi with the
Oh.
clever jukes right there, having to flash over to try and get the space he needs. That was pretty slick, though, that dodge.
Yeah.
Can we look at the CS numbers for a second, though? I don't mean to cut myself and you off simultaneously, but I just noticed both Kasubi and I'm Not Sweet Tea have over 200 CS. This is a silver game, guys. That's
Yeah.
really impressive.
I think that the bar of every elo has just been raising every single season. The level of play, like a silver player now could have been like platinum back in the day, or even
Oh,
higher,
absolutely.
potentially.
Oh, Best Acer almost getting taken out by 2 Qs. Oh, Kasubi going in a little too deep there.
Oh,
Oh!
he's barely taken out. I don't know
Oh.
what killed him. GP passive or something?
Something from GP, so I would assume passive because I didn't see a Q coming out. That's really unfortunate. Kasubi still had heal. I just think that was a misplay from Kasubi, and that's going to slow down his team's tempo pretty significantly, which is really not what you want. I mean, okay,
Their team can play slow though. They have Nasus, Vayne,
They can.
and Lulu.
that is what I was going to follow
They
up
don't-
with.
They can risk taking these plays because they have so much room to work with. You know, they just need to just keep this game stalled out. They can play slow, or they can risk it because of how far ahead they are. And even if they, they get set behind a few times, they're still going to be in a perfectly fine spot.
Yeah, while that's true, I mean, the counter side to that coin is no matter how well your team scales in the late game, you don't want to just lose something for nothing. And that's kind of what that was. They didn't get the tower. They got a kill onto someone who wasn't really all that impactful. I mean, you could say that about the entire team of Team Raptors right now compared to Kasubi. None of them are anywhere near as impactful as this 3-1-4 Vayne with 230 CS nearly. Like, just straight up, there's no comparison. So, while yes, you can play slow, and yes, you can make mistakes, we have seen better teams with bigger leads make those same mistakes and then somehow lose to like an early game team. We saw just at All-Stars, the Chinese team losing to super minions in their base because they pushed too hard and made that one mistake.
That's not pushing
Oh.
too hard there, though.
No, it is not. I mean, Sweet Tea might disagree with that statement of not being
He
pushed
had
too hard,
flash heal
but
up. He could have maybe made it out, but
But
he's
is it
not
worth
ready
it
for
at that point?
Kha'Zix burst.
because would you even survive? Even so,
You might die anyways trading flash for flash, but now
Oh,
you just
Davey
lose
is
the
me.
Baron.
Davies me with a smart sacrifice here. I actually really like this play.
Oh,
Oh, no,
the
but Dev
Feast.
guy getting taken out. Feast coming down.
The Baron's
Raptolon
getting
is
really
gonna
low.
get
It's
the
at 1K.
Baron, it looks like. Oh no, Kasumi. Raptolon getting taken out. And Kasumi taking out Best Acer. It means they're not going to get the Baron stolen from them. Kasumi taking out that Baron. Hot Handles beneath the tier 2 tower. What are you doing, man? I believe in you. Oh no! Foodie Monster just lost half of his HP. No, 3/4 to a single Q. Cringy Yasuo, man, in a little bit of trouble. This is dangerous. Hot Handles just taking out these Krugs here.
Nasus is just destroying, and they had to send 3 people in that bot side to just handle him, and they couldn't even kill him. That made the Baron in the top side a 4v2. It's just complete and utter chaos in the side of Raptors. I mean, there's very little you can do at this point. You have to look for a misplay and capitalize on it. And they have done that a few times, but they need to do it a whole lot for a chance
Oh,
to
yeah.
win this game.
They need to capitalize a lot harder, and the thing is, against a Baron buff team, you have to play so much more carefully because you're getting that free side push. Basically, we're gonna see Hot Handles take out this second tier tower. You may say that's a bold prediction, Iberia. No, no, no. Just watch. See, if I had been wrong, that would have been really embarrassing. However, it's a Nasus. He's 9-1 with a Trinity Force. I'm pretty sure he can take out a 3/4 health tower. Uh-oh. Aoyam gonna start imitating that 3/4 health tower here in a second, getting taken out himself. Deb guy gonna do his best to get out. He's gonna be fine. Meanwhile, we lost Baron on one. Aoyam, the first one to fall for this Team Wolves, and it looks like Team Raptors is going to try and respond by taking the dragon. Oh, Davy is me getting the charm onto Cringy Yasuo. Meanwhile, Kasubi in the backline just dropping people left and right at this point. Raptolon getting a little bit low in 1 second. Oh, a great condemn there. And that's a near ace. Best Acer, the only one surviving on his team. Just doesn't matter. Kasubi is going mad. See, the entire team has just snowballed so much. It's ridiculous watching these fights because you're sitting here like, oh.
I think they're going to look for the anti-air.
I'm almost certain they'll be able to find it because Hot Handles himself will be able to take down this tower.
I think he should be pushing with.
Oh yeah. He should,
like,
but
this is definitely slowing down their push because of Hot Handles getting a little hyphy there, looking to just take a different tower. They definitely can't end anymore. They can get
No.
2 inhibs, which is not.
I think they're going for
horrible.
the double inhib play.
Yeah.
Or possibly if they take out Best Acer here, they might still be able to end by taking out that big chunky front line. Because that's a lot of CC, that's a lot of damage threat onto the Vayne with the Feast.
I mean, you
Raptolon.
could just take the triple inhibs. That's the death sentence play, where you're just given the Omaiwa Mo Shinderu.
You could take it, and then you could just stay in the base, too. It's not like they need to back. It's not like their enemies are going to suddenly get an item advantage by being able to turtle in the base. They're so far ahead at this point.
I feel like I said that like a country boy.
Yeah. You did. It was a little. It had a little
I'll hit him with
country
the
twang.
Omaiwa Mo Shinderu.
Yeah,
A little
it's
better.
just
A little better.
little southern twang to it. But that's fine. They're gonna have to back out without getting the third inhib though, which is definitely not what they were looking
Yeah.
for. Oh, is that gonna be a bloodthirster from Hot Handles? I really hope so.
It might be a Guardian Angel. I feel like
Oh,
that's
right.
probably. It's actually good here on Nasus.
I
You know,
keep
gives him
forgetting
some
that item
extra
exists.
damage. Yeah, it gives him that extra damage, but then more importantly, that revival is so good to have on that Nasus because it gets him time to get his rotations back up, get a couple extra cooldowns off, a couple extra Qs. Maybe he gives him time for his team to get to him. It's very valuable item on this champion.
Mm-hmm. And it just helps him with the AD stacking because, as we said, it's a full AD team comp. You have a Nasus who's fed out of his mind. He has Righteous Glory, Dead Man's Plate, Thornmail, and if he does finish that GA, that's all armor. Plus, he gets 30% of his health back. How do you take that out?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
you're
do
not
like
going
that he
to.
built Mercs here. Mercs was a good choice, I think, because of all the CC they're against.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the CC is stopped by Mercs. There's only one knockup, so all those slows are going to be getting reduced in duration. The snare from Karma, the Sejuani ult. Oh no, there is the Sejuani Q too, but a lot of that CC is affected by those Mercs. So pretty good itemization, and he doesn't need more defensive armor. He just needs that anti-CC.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Nasus. The biggest weakness he has is that he gets absolutely reamed by any sort of CC. So using the Merc Treads, I think they're probably one of the best boot options, if not the best, compared to like Swifties against an all slows team. But we can see Nasus now, those slows not lasting quite as long, doing a lot. Polymorph going down onto Raptolon. This fight is breaking out like crazy. Not Sweet Tea getting low as well. Everyone on the blue side incredibly low. Oh no, Hot Handles going in with the ultimate. He's going to be dropping Qs and people left and right. Raptolon falling, Booty Monster falling. This could be the end of the game here. Hot Handles doing his best to keep everyone off his AD carry as the AD carry finishes the game. Kasubi gonna take it out. Deb Guy getting the last hit onto the Nexus, and that is game 1. Going over to Team Wolves, and guess what? These brackets are best of 1, so congratulations to Team Wolves for winning that one out.
Yeah, no ties. We have a victor today, and that is the Wolves. They played extremely well against the Raptors, and even though they had the late game scaling comp, they just rolled through that early game.
Yeah, that was the really important thing there, I think. And before I go into this full post-game analysis, I would like to let out one solid solidarity. Oh, okay, good. Wolves have been established as the victors. Anyways,
Okay.
as you were saying, the early game was the key to that, and I think a lot of the benefits and the praise should be directed towards Hot Handle's handling of the early ganks and the early pressure, because Raptalon did go up there, I think, about twice in a row up by that first tier tower, and Hot Handles just kind of backed off. And I know that sounds really simple, but all of you have been there, I'm sure, where you're like, if I could just get this one more CS, and then I'll back off, and I swear that level 6 Kha'Zix won't one-shot me. Okay, let me go. Oh no, I'm dead. Where did my health bar go? So playing those ganks early was a really good thing. And then on the other hand, when he got fought, when he had Deb Guy, they just absolutely rolled over everyone. And I think part of it, correct me if I'm wrong, because analysis is not my strong suit. I think part of it was that Hot Handles didn't really get pressured as well as he could have. We talked about the failed ganks so much, but there could have also been like Gangplank ults going up there, or even a lane swap might have been of the benefit of Team Raptors.
Yeah. I gotta say, I mean, Cringy Yasuo tried his best on that GP. You know, he did well. I say he was a standout carry on that team, but Wolves were dominant. But guys, don't go anywhere. We have Blue Sentinels versus Red Brambleback in our second silver game.
And we'll see you then.
Oh, and just to mention, me and Niberia are going to be calling it for the night. I will be returning later. This is Niberia for the day. We will be having Potato and Can Opener in the next series. We're going to be rotating casters out, just so you guys are informed. So, Niberia, you want to say the outro?
You know what? I will. Thank you everyone for coming out for Game 1 of Rise of the Summoners. I hope you stay here with us and enjoy the rest of the games. Have a wonderful night, and if you enjoy it, we'll see you again tomorrow while I have 2 more casts. Have a good one, everyone.
You're my greatest affliction, my one contradiction, my sweetest addiction is you. Stranger than fiction, my one contradiction, my sweetest addiction is you. You're my greatest affliction, my one contradiction, my sweetest addiction is you. Stranger than fiction, my one contradiction, my sweetest addiction is you. I was wrong. It creeps on back through color glass, through color glass. I'll paint out the song again to say I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing. It creeps on back through I'm here once again, and I'm dealing, I'm feeling the pain. So who takes the fall again? Come with me. Come with me. Was wrong. It creeps on back through color glass, through color glass. Waiting for the rain. I'm not holding back for anyone. Waiting for the rain. I'm not holding back for anyone. I've been holding on forever, waiting for the rain to come. Who am I to just surrender? I'm not holding back for anyone. I've been holding on forever, waiting for the rain to come. Who am I to just surrender? I'm not holding back for anyone. Holding on forever, waiting for the rain to come. Who am I to just surrender? I'm not holding back for anyone. I've been holding on forever, waiting for the rain to come. Who am I to just surrender? I'm not holding back for anyone. Holding up for, waiting for the rain. Am I to just surrender? I'm not holding back for anyone. Waiting for the rain. Waiting for the rain. I'm not holding back for anyone. holding back for anyone. Waiting for the rain.
Everything to be perfect, but life is hard. And sometimes you gotta wonder if it's worth it. I don't know, but I can give you a hope that won't fade away. So you can keep your heart safe. You don't have to be downhearted. Let's return to where we started. You don't have to be downhearted, 'cause I will be the one fighting for you. I'm fighting for you. When I is weak, I will fix your mistakes. Takes hold, it never lets you go. Through the snow, we got a long way left to go. But you don't have to be downhearted. Let's return to where we started. You don't have to be downhearted, 'cause I will be the one fighting for you. I'm fighting for you. When I is weak, I will fix your mistakes. Downhearted.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second match today for Rise of the Summoners. I am Sir Potato the Ninth, joined by Can Opener Dude, and we are getting right into picks and bans.
Weren't you Potato the 11th like a couple days ago? Did you progress backwards?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. In any case, we're in some bans and picks and stuff. This is going to be the second Rise of the Summoners game, so this is also Silver Elo match, but these are slightly better silvers, we hope, but probably not because they're still silver.
Wow.
But this is Team Sentinel versus Team Brambleback, so we're gonna have to figure out first what sound these buffs make, so we can do that at the end of the game. Second, Oh, apparently the casters are wrong. I'm Can Opener Dude. He's a potato. We're we're here, and things are happening.
All right.
Anyone-
So Team Sentinel is locked in Poppy, and apparently Team Brambleback is running Mordekaiser into that.
Oh, you have only just
Oh,
begun to
boy.
see the scariness.
I am so excited. Mordekaiser is among the memeiest champions that there are, so I am beyond excited to be casting a Mordekaiser game. And then you got the Kha'Zix and Zoe locked in by Team Sentinel, and the Sejuani and Talon locked in for Team Brambleback. Ooh, I'm so excited to see this Mordekaiser in action.
Yeah, I'm more excited to see how busted Zoe plays in a 5 setting, because we've seen her in solo queue, we've seen her a few times on the pro setting, but I want to see what she can do when no one actually knows how to punish her in a 5 setting where she can actually move around the map as a team. So, but yes, Mordekaiser is going to be interesting. The thing is that so far they have not drafted a particularly strong objective control team, which is something you kind of want to do when running Mordekaiser, because he wants to control those dragon spawns. From the top lane, it's kind of hard to begin with. So normally you want to go Mordekaiser mid or Mordekaiser bot for that reason. But beyond that, you still want to control those spawns in any case, so that Mordekaiser can get those dragons, push down towers. It's like a mini Rift Herald in its own way. But not really so far a strong one. Twitch can do fairly decently at controlling objectives, but the rest of them, Sejuani, Talon, not the best dragon takers in the game.
No, sir. I definitely agree with that. I'm very interested to see how he plans on going about this, because, like you said, he's not going to be having a lot of access to those dragons. I mean, he's on the exact opposite side of the map, so it'll be a little interesting to see how Seth goes about this.
He does have teleport, so he can. If he uses it as soon as dragon spawns, he'll have it up next time dragon spawns. So
Yeah.
he's
And-
got that going for him. He'll be Gucci.
Right now, all of you spectators can't actually see this, but a fish is running teleport as well. I'm assuming that he's going to be changing that, unless we're seeing a next level cheese pick for summoner spells. But regardless, what?
It's a
Oh.
bug. It's a bug.
Oh, it's a bug.
The little
that-
voice in our heads are telling us it's a spectator bug.
Oh, okay. I don't know. We could also be seeing an unsealed spellbook pickup, and the Mordekaiser will have more access to teleports. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see how this one plays out, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, and thanks to our good friend Zoro, we actually have a straw poll in chat that you can vote on who you think is going to win. So feel free to go ahead and take a look at that. You can also tweet at us if you really want to. You don't have to. I understand. It's okay. But overall team comps, I think the Dragon game is going to be big this game with the Mordekaiser in the game. But other than that, not a whole lot we can really say, other than there's going to be a whole lot of front-loaded damage on the blue side and a whole lot of DPS on the red side. So that's all I got to really say about this. You got anything to add, Potato?
No, sir, I do not. Other than this game is going to be an exciting game to watch. You got the Mordekaiser, you got the Zoe, you got the Kha'Zix, you got the Talon. There's going to be picks all over the map. It's going to be a high-action game, and I cannot wait to start casting this. So we are going to throw it back over to some music for a little bit while the spectator delay runs down, and we are going to be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, Potato is currently muted, but welcome back to the show match here. Picking up the Penguin Curse, are you, Potato? Anyway, we're in the game here on this wintry, wonderful Summoner's Rift. I'm gonna go ahead and introduce the blue team, and then I'll let Potato introduce the red team, as is tradition. In the top lane, we have Danger Apartment on Poppy, Omit in the jungle on Kha'Zix, Yo-Yo Bros 94 playing that Zoe, CSG Tank playing Varus in the bot lane with Desatre supporting him.
All right, and on Team Brambleback, you got Seth in a string of numbers on Mordekaiser in the top lane. You got Beauregard on Sejuani in the jungle. The Half-Minded on Talon in the mid lane. Rishlumiote on Twitch in the AD carry position, and joining him is a Fish on Blitzcrank in the support role. And Team Brambleback has attempted to do a little bit of cheesing by walking into the Dragon Put, placing a ward over the wall and looking for a hook, but unfortunately nothing actually came to fruition because of that.
You know, I'm kind of upset that, a Fish got the Nami denied from him, because that would be name synergy, and that's very important in games like this.
Yeah, actually. I mean, anyways. All right, so like we were saying in the Champ Select, the big objective for this game is going to be dragons, having Seth TP down to contest and try and take these dragons in order to get some siege potential onto these towers. But really, oh my goodness, Yo-Yo Bro is already so low. First blood going over to the Half-Minded. Wow, that is
and the emote spam comes out in the bot lane in response to that. That was very, very well played there by the Half-Minded. He understands perfectly that Zoe has not hit any sort of power spike yet. He's got to play this early game very, very heavily in his own favor if he wants to get ahead in this lane. Zoe scales up massively. Blitzcrank hook does mix, but we get a nice little voiceover there.
Yeah, Zoe honestly does so much damage with Q. I believe at level 2, when a Q is leveled twice, you can do around 400 damage at full range with a cast, which is honestly insane. Oh, Danger Apartment getting flashed on, forced to flash away, and lives anyways. Now in the bottom lane, Decent Tree getting engaged on, Fish landing a hook, no summoner spells forced out because of that.
Decent Tree, that's so much better. Disaster? Oh! Okay.
Oh, Disaster.
I thought it was Desastre. No, it's Disaster. Okay. Okay, we got this all figured out now.
All right.
In any case, Disaster, almost facing a disaster when he got pulled. But
Oh my goodness, Danger Apartment so low in the top lane right now.
yeah, that apartment is very dangerous for him up in that top lane.
Absolutely. Seth is, oh no, the flash coming in from Beauregard, and now the hook landing onto Disaster. Actually getting chunked out, forced flash away, but the ignite comes out from a Fish, and First Blood goes over to Rishlummy. And I might totally be botching that name, but we're going to stay with Rishlummy. Well, that was a very good gank. Oh, Sleepy Trouble Bubble landing onto the Half-Minded, and now the damage coming out. That did around 20% 20% of the Half-Minded's health already at level 3.
Do we have to comment on it? I'd rather just pretend it doesn't exist, if that's at all possible.
Yeah, if you don't acknowledge it, then it doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, we're gonna go with that. But in any case, I do want to take a look at how the jungle paths are going here, because we do see Omit up in the top lane here, but he has been spotted out by Seth. This is going to force him to walk
Okay. Go on.
down river and try and get a gank off on the mid lane, but mid laner, of course, will recognize that he's headed down the river, back up, so they'll force the gank off. This is very good pathing here by the red team to make
Gank
sure.
from Omit, going on to Seth. Danger Apartment very low, but Seth doesn't have a flash. Omit is going to be able to whack him down, and Omit has slain Seth. That is going to be very beneficial in Omit on Kha'Zix because of the scaling potential with a couple of kills.
Yeah, it's very, very good to start getting that Kha'Zix kills. So I was just trying to say it's very good pathing to try and keep that Kha'Zix from ganking, because he doesn't get very much from farming. He has to get kills in order to get ahead.
Oh my goodness! Yo-Yo Bros landing a sleepy bubble of trouble onto the half-minded, then tossing the Q and ending up just taking out the half-minded.
My game was a couple seconds behind. There we go.
Just spam speed up every couple of seconds.
Yeah, my plus key doesn't work for some reason, so I actually have to click the button on screen in order to do it. Whatever. That was a very, very nice Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Bubble Trouble Hubba Bubba Max bubble there from Yo-Yo Bros. That CC
Sleepy-
is so strong.
Yeah, especially, I feel like, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure Zoe's Sleepy Trouble Bubble is the only skill shot that actually gets bigger if you miss it. So, the ability lands on the ground, and if it misses, then it stays there as a little trap, and if your opponent walks over it, then they, of course, are hit by the CC. Seth taking so much damage in the top lane, healing up just as much now. Now, Danger Apartment getting whacked away by that mace. Uh-oh, is the half-minded? Looking at the minimap, the half-minded is appearing to be roaming up towards top lane.
This
The
is an advantage of Talon.
And now in the bottom lane, Omit is going on to Fish, and now the half-minded has taken out Danger Apartment, and Omit got hooked by a Fish. Now Ree actually getting a kill on Omit, a Fish pretty low, but CSG doesn't have the damage necessary to flash on him and get the kill. So ending up being a positive trade in favor of Team Team Sentinel. Wow, and now this tower is going to be taking some disastrous damage. The teleport coming in from Danger's Apartment, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to, or he's not going to be able to omit any of the damage that was taken. And Beauregard is very aggressive right now, already stealing the blue buff of Omit, because he can, to be honest. A Fish, landing a hook onto Disaster. Now Disaster getting ignited, and the flash not available. Reach does take him out. Disaster is dead. CSG looking to all in. The flash coming out from a Fish. Now Reach does get the free access to the auto attacks onto CSG, walking underneath the tower. Doesn't actually cast the ability to get the kill. Now Yo-Yo Bros forced to flash away, uses barrier, gets ignited. Now Yo-Yo Bros still low. The half-minded just needs to hit one more attack. Uses ulti, but Beauregard still takes Yo-Yo Bros out. Goodness, that is another trade in favor of Team Sentinel.
Come
Or
on, guys,
Team
give Potato a
Brambleback.
break.
Ah, goodness. All right. Let's see. The hook barely missing. That's really what you want to be seeing from Team Sentinel right now. They have such a good composition that scales with getting kills, and they are getting the kills. You got the 2 kills on the Talon. You got the 3 kills on the Twitch. He already has a completed BF sword, and he hasn't even back to get more items yet. So they are definitely already taking an early control of the game. They're starting up the Infernal Dragon, and Seth doesn't have a ward to teleport on. They're dragging it out. Let's see what happens.
I do have one in the in Micro Bush. He could teleport to that, but I don't think he
That-
will because Poppy's on him right now.
Sleepy Trouble Bubble lands onto the half-minded. The half-minded getting deleted by CSG. Now Omit is in the pit. Doesn't get the smite seal because he doesn't have smite. Force flash out away. And now the dragon goes over to Team Sentinel. After they get the after they lose the half-minded. Oof. That's gotta hurt.
So, I just realized we've got red team and blue team. Are they actually switched? Like, is red team Team Sentinel? Because
Red
that would
team
be-
is Team Sentinel.
that. Are we sure about that?
Blue
Blue
team
team
is
is
Team
out.
Sentinel. Okay, well. Oh my goodness.
Thanks,
Okay.
Potato. Oh, good, because that was gonna tilt me so freaking hard if the red team was Team Sentinel.
Okay. So,
Potato, are you okay today?
I'm getting there.
Anyway, now that we're sure that the teams are synergizing together, can I have a minute to talk, please? Stop fighting, guys. Come on.
Go on. Beauregard is
Okay.
in the bottom lane, but doesn't have anybody to gank.
Right,
go on.
Beauregard is doing
Uh-oh.
everything he
Oh
can.
my,
Look,
ganking
here's another
Seth in the
fight.
top lane, and now Danger Apartment. Pretty low. Seth looking to just stay inside of his minion wave. Seth getting some damage, and now the half-minded coming in, uses the ulti, looking for Danger Apartment. Ulti not actually connecting with anything, but does get the damage off onto the Danger Apartment. Now Omen as well. That is double kill for the half-minded. and he runs away, taking a couple tower shots, but it does not matter in the end because he gets a double kill and is looking to take this first tower with Seth.
Now this is a very good choice by the Half-Minded to start roaming because Talon is an amazing roamer with his E and his ultimate. And like we've already seen that Zoe has the ability to basically one-shot you once she gets any sort of items. So he wants to try and avoid that lane because while he technically could win the 1v1 if he plays it correctly, it's so much easier to just gank an unexpected lane from a weird angle using his E. So easier kills, gets the Talon fed, and then he can assassinate the Zoe on his own time. It all works out for the best.
Talon has so much damage right now with the completed Duskblade, and with the interaction between Duskblade and the ulti. Okay, well, a fish is getting engaged on, he uses the ulti defensively, and now Reese Schlummy has taken out Omit, and now blue team are trying to run away, and it doesn't seem like anybody on Team Brambleback or Team Sentinel, goodness. Wait, no, Team Brambleback does not have the ability to dive underneath the tower without a fish. So they're going to be looking to, let's see.
Well,
They're just gonna
Beauregard is here, but the good old Zoe double hubble bubble trouble times has come through, so they're gonna back off and see there. Now Rift Herald is being taken up in the top lane. A good rotation there. Whoever the shot caller is on this team is doing an excellent job of commanding the map rotations. They saw that the jungler was bot side, actually died bot side, so they're like, hey, let's go get Rift Herald. Poppy can't stop us. And they already knew Zoe was bot lane as well, so they had free reign on that Rift Herald. Extra pushes for them.
Yep. Mordekaiser, like we said, does have pretty good, well, specifically Dragon taking potential, but it does not hurt to give him the Rift Herald because he split pushes so well. He has abilities that are able to clear waves, and he's able to utilize Rift Herald and get those towers so well.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing for him. I would like to see him build a Sheen item this game. I know it's not optimal on Mordekaiser, but I think that's a nice
Flash from the Half-Minded gets the Q, doesn't mind the Yo-Yo Bros flashing away. Now a fish actually putting him, or Yo-Yo Bros putting Half-Minded to sleep under his own tower, allowing him to get that kill. Only has to use Flash and Barrier, but the Half-Minded runs away without any sums and does end up getting killed. Well played to Yo-Yo Bros there.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I think that actually wasn't a very good flash, even though I said it was a good flash.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
God.
Oh my goodness, a fish getting pretty chunked out by that Q from Yo-Yo Bros. Omit in the mid lane. All right, you got 3 members of Team Brambleback in the mid lane. Goodness.
Hey, you've got 3 members of Team Sentinel too. We're fine.
Yeah, actually 4 right now. The ulti does miss from CSG Tank. That is a pretty important CC ability down the drain. And right now, Reese Schlummy in the bottom lane, starting to rotate up. All right, let's see.
It would be good if he can get the flank off. If they can get a good engage, having the Twitch come in from the side could mean a real good kill streak. Real good kill. Yes, that is.
Oh, Yo-Yo Bros getting hooked up by a fish, getting the. Everybody is laying down their CC, and now the Half-Minded has taken out Disaster, and now Danger Apartment running very low, gets stunned up. Red team piling on the damage, ends up getting taken out, and that's a double kill for Seth on Mordekaiser. Yo-Yo Bros, the Ghost, coming in. Now Beauregard, underneath a little too far, but does get the escape necessary. Now this tower is going to be falling down. So Team Brambleback have taken another tower and are rotating towards the dragon, spawning in 15 seconds.
Yeah, Beauregard going a little too ham there. A little too far down. And also missing the Q. And the fish is left over the wall. Now this will be a dragon that Seth can pick up here. I don't remember if they ever did actually implement the change where elemental drakes give you different bonuses when they're Mordekaiser ghosts. I don't think they did.
I don't believe so either, but the Infernal Dragon has been taken. Another 8% ability power and attack damage buff in favor of Team Brambleback on such a team fight heavy composition, as well as...
Too.
Yeah, so you got the Dragon, you got the Rift Herald, and 5 members of Team Brambleback rushing
Goodbye,
down the tower. It's not going to be alive for much longer. CSG tank pretty far out of position, flash forward from a fish, getting the knock up, not landing the hook, but now Beauregard, Beauregard, forcing out the flash. Beauregard, goodness. All right, so it does seem like we're going to see a bit of a team fight breaking out in a couple of seconds as soon as one team pulls the trigger on the next. Let's see.
Yeah, they're probably going to wait on a hook from a fish here. That's really the go for the red team here.
Oh, no, official missing that hook.
And without any more mana, that is going to mean a backup here by Team Brambleback. Danger Apartment scouting out, but he's going to be sought out.
Oh my god! Top minded! Almost getting 0 or 100 to 0'd by Yo-Yo Bros. Goodness gracious.
There is nothing to analyze there. Zoe is just straight up bonkers.
Oh my goodness. I like Reese Schlummy spamming the Blitzcrank thinking emote.
Yeah, especially now that he has a Blitzcrank support. It's a good time. It's a fun time. Everyone knows it. This bot tower is going to fall in return here. One thing I want to talk about here is the... excuse me, Nami. The ways of engage from these two teams. We see on the Brambleback side, they really are waiting for the go signal from a fish's hook. Because Beauregard can go in and, you know, Q in, use the ult and all that good stuff, but with the changes, that only means one person gets stunned. It's not as a reliable team fight starter as it used to be. Still very, very, very good, but not as reliable as catching a squishy out and making it a 4v5, which you can then follow up with the Sejuani ult. So really, they're going to be looking for a fish to get into position for that clutch hook. Meanwhile, on the other side, there isn't as much of a solid engage. They're going to be waiting basically on CSG tank to get a kind of ruler-esque ultimate off to catch someone out in that regard. They could also engage off of a Nami wave, but that's not as reliable as you'd expect. And of course, the Poppy ult throws them backwards, so that's more of a disengage.
Yeah, very good peeling, not so much of a good engage. Although you can just do the shortened cast and get the just the knock-up from the Poppy ult. That's also a pretty good engage, but other than that, I would agree. CSG is going to be the primary trigger pulling for Team Sentinel.
Yeah, and that's kind of unfortunate because he is the ADC. He's one of their main damage dealers. That's health.
Goodness.
Yeah,
about
she's
4% damage.
She's not incredibly OP. There's definitely counters to her, and Talon is one of those. But at lower elos, not low elo, but lower elos, it is more difficult to dodge these kind of tangent geometry skill shots. Vel'Koz has them, Zoe has them. So it can be very difficult to avoid that damage. So at low levels, it's definitely a priority pickup because of the amount of damage you can put out. And people can't necessarily...
Oh, Danger Department getting the engage onto everybody. And now it seems like the blue side are looking to pull the trigger, a fish landing a hook onto CSG. And now the damage coming out, Beauregard taking out CSG tank. Beauregard, excuse me, now Deezatry forced to flash out, and now Beauregard following up. Danger Department pretty low, and the sleep does connect from Yo-Yo Bros. Yo-Yo Bros in a bad spot, forced to flash out because of Beauregard. And now, red side are looking to take this tower. Danger Department stunned up underneath his own tower. Beauregard taking plenty of damage. Now the stun comes in. Beauregard gets the kill, but at the cost of his own life. And now this is oh no, the hook landing from a fish. Now Omit does get taken out almost immediately by Seth. And now this is going to be a 2v2 in the mid lane. But Yo-Yo Bros is so low, and I don't think he has what it takes to defend this tower. So this blue side tower is going to be taken by Team Brambleback. And now Yo-Yo Bros. Oh wow, the hook barely missing from a fish. Blue turret has been destroyed.
His own tower. Yeesh.
That's a rough feeling. Reach Lummy invisible. Okay. Alright, so now we're getting a little bit of a reset in the neutral game from both of these teams. Just trying to clear some wards and do everything they can. The Baron is spawning in 20 minutes, and right now you can see the Half-Minded roaming into the top side jungle. He's just going to go clear that top wave. I would have liked to see him set up some vision, but wait, he actually has a blue trinket, so never mind. Right now, Reach Lummy is 5-0-5 with a completed IE and has so much attack speed. he's in a very good position. As long as Reese Schlummy does not get picked off in any fights, he's going to be able to carry it any fight. Especially since he has our rune.
The Runan's pickup very, very strong on him. He's basically got the perfect setup now, because the rest of his team can sort of face tank for at least a little bit, with a Fish being somewhat tanky, with Seth having the shield built in, and with Beauregard being a massive tank. The half-minded will usually go in and assassinate who he wants, but it's really going to come down to getting in, getting that cheeky sort of self-flank going down, and then that will basically mean the end of any team fight if that can get down, especially with Press the Attack, which he is running, which gives him even more on-hit damage. And
oh boy.
Infernal Drake.
Third Infernal
We're doing
Drake.
it live, folks.
Which would give Team Brambleback the 24% advantage in attack speed and ability power. And that is going to be a disgusting advantage that they're going to have as well. Oh no, Fish picking up CSG Tank, getting blown up immediately. Now the half-minded onto Yo-Yo Bros. Yo-Yo Bros getting taken out. Now the stun onto Omit. Omit is going to be the third casualty as long as he does not get away. The Omit running away. Beauregard getting in. The Nami ulti coming out from Disa Tree. Disaster. And that is going to be 3-0 in favor of Team Sentinel. Team Brambleback as they are rotating towards this Baron. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, because I am mispronouncing everything. Baron Nashor is going to be taken rather quickly. That is going to be another objective in favor of Team Brambleback. They have had such incredible objective control. They've taken every single dragon, taken the Rift Herald, and now they have the Baron. This is going to be what looks like the next death march towards the enemy Nexus.
Yeah, this is very, very dire straits now. Danger Apartment, in some danger.
Seth actually getting knocked away, but the half-minded probably still has the damage necessary. Actually going to back off. He's going to be giving some respect over to Danger Apartment and the lack of vision. Yo-Yo Bros is walking up right now, so he is going to be providing a bit of a threat. So Seth and the half-minded back off, reset, buy some items, and are looking to start the march.
Yeah, this is, like I was just saying before Danger Apartment had his little run-in the top lane, very, very dire straits here for Team Blue Sentinels. They're going to have to pull off something major to come back from this, because even with all these advantages, it's still very possible to lose, but it's going to be very, very difficult for Red Bramblebacks to lose this lead. They've got the Baron, they just need to push in now. One thing that can be a mistake that any player can make, really, is to not press the advantage when you have something big. You're tempted to just, oh, let's just farm a little bit more, get some more items. Let's just farm up their jungle, push in, ward up. But no, you just want to focus in, get those towers, continue to push them down into the dirt. Warding is fine. Don't get me wrong, warding's fine, but you want to keep pushing in. Give them no time to regroup, give them no time to breathe, because the faster you can push in, the faster you can keep everything pressure on, the more likely they are to make mistakes, and the more likely they are to continue to fall behind and lose the game.
Yes, sir. And right now, they are doing just that, and they are rotating from taking the bottom tower, tier 2, to taking the top tier 2 tower. I think that is definitely a good way to be rotating around. Now, Beauregard actually getting engaged. Oh no, Yo-Yo Bros getting deleted by a Fish. One of the primary damage carries from the blue team. Though it was an insane ulti, 3-man ulti from Danger Apartment. And now the minions are going to be cleared out as Get pulled is popping over the wall. Let's see where
he has a cooldown on this wall. He can't go back over, but he does have flash up. He's looking to zone more than anything else. The tower will fall.
Tower has fallen, and now it is free game to be engaging, and Beauregard is doing just that onto the oh no, CSG tank gets blown up, and now the inhibitor is going to be taken. Danger Apartment also falls. Now the red team are running into the Nexus towers and are going to be taking them without too much of a contest. Seth has so much damage. Beauregard onto Omit, the flash from Yo-Yo Bros, and now everybody's laying down the damage. Disaster.
This could be an end here. Yo-Yo Bros.
Yo-Yo Bros deleting the half-minded. But let's see if they have the damage to continue going. Both Nexus towers down. Yo-Yo Bros flashing forward. Beauregard underneath the tower is going to be taken out. and Beauregard taken out by that tower. The kill goes over to Disaster. Now Yo-Yo Bros landing the Sleepy Trouble Bubble onto Blitzcrank, and let's see, gets the full range Q. Doesn't do that much damage to Seth because of the, oh no, Yo-Yo Bros in a very bad spot. Oh my goodness. All right, so Yo-Yo Bros does have so much damage, but he's not going to be able to do much damage to Seth. And now Seth, speaking of, gets shut down by CSG Tank from a full range arrow. And now Omits in Danger Apartments are going to be clearing some wards and looking to disengage.
Yeah, the three of them stayed too long there. Once they saw that was not going their way, it should have just been run. They did try and pick up Yo-Yo Bros, which was a mistake. At that point, even if you do pick up Yo-Yo Bros, death timers aren't particularly long enough yet. You pick him up, you just get, 100, 200 gold. It's not going to help you much. Just let him live, walk away, reset for the next team fight. You've got the team fight strength right now. You're massively ahead. 14,000 gold ahead. This is insurmountable by LCS standards. So just reset. You don't need to worry about fragging at this point. Just let them have their lives. You can get them later. Trust me.
I think right now in team fights, both teams are just going to be looking to assassinate the enemy team's damage carries. So just the mid lane or the ADC. And once that happens, it's going to be pretty much just a slaughter fest in favor of whoever got those picks. Because there's not a lot of damage anywhere else on the map. And Omit, right now, actually going to be stunned up and just deleted. Beauregard ending up getting the kill. And now this looks like it's going to be a huge advantage for team fighting. And maybe going to be the pick that decides the game. Seth has a very large minion wave in the mid lane right now, forcing everybody to come over. Let's see.
This is very, very bad. Being down one of your damage threats, even if it is Omit, who's not particularly doing well right now, you can't have a damage threat down. You're 45, but it's only 15 seconds. Can they do something this time?
Let's see. The tower is starting to take some damage, and Team Sentinel, Team Sentinel are getting pressured off of this tower. The minion waves have started to die. Right now, they're just waiting for those minions to come in. But right now, in the top lane, there is a minion wave with super minions coming in, and no Nexus towers, ladies and gentlemen. So they can start putting damage onto the Nexus.
Yeah, and Omit isn't going to be able to handle these super minions, particularly by himself. This tower will fall.
This will be the team fight that decides it all. If the red team wins this team fight, that is going to be the end of the game. The sun lands onto Omit. Omit getting cooked and getting stunned up, forced to jump away. And now everybody laying down the damage. Half-minded getting a massive double kill. And now it's down to Yo-Yo Bros and Omit to defend their base. Now Yo-Yo Bros in such a bad spot. Omit and a fish duking it out, and now the Nexus is starting to take the damage, and that is going to be the game, ladies and gentlemen. Omen has taken out a fish, but that is not going to matter. The Nexus has fallen, and Team Brambleback stand victorious, and that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen.
What an amazing... I mean, I was a little worried about the dragon control from Team Brambleback coming into this game because they didn't have a whole lot of threats that could take down dragons quickly. But taking over the lanes they did, and especially the Half-Mind in particular, pulling off those clutch roams to make sure his side lanes are ahead, pushed in, keep the enemy from collapsing on them while they're taking the dragons. It doesn't matter how slow you take the dragon if the enemy team is never going to be there. And that's exactly what they were able to pull out. Just stranglehold the side lanes. Keep Rhea ahead. Keep a fish ahead in the bot lane. They're fine. Go to the top lane. Help Seth continuously push in and keep this Danger Apartment Poppy from doing anything whatsoever, or even building any particular amount of tank. And then Beauregard basically can just do the opposite of wherever the Half-Minded is. Go to whatever lane he's not in. You're ganking 2 lanes at once. It's really, really strong synergy from Brambleback. I hope these 5 players take this and look at it and understand where the synergy is coming from and apply it to further games, because this was very, very well played as a 5-man unit from them.
Yeah, and even though they did lose the game, Team Sentinel can look at this game and study where everything went wrong and what they could be doing better to improve. So I think that was a very dominant performance from Team Brambleback. And I cannot wait to start the next game ladies and gentlemen. So do you have any closing thoughts, Mr. Can Opener Dude?
Well, once we figured out what the teams were and what their names were, I think this was overall a really good game. Absolutely immaculate play by Rhea, ending the game 6-0 and 9 lol, and just complete domination, ending with almost 2,000 gold ahead. That is ridiculous. So very, very well played to both teams. I have no idea what sound a red brambleback makes, and Banter has threatened to ban me if I try to make a sound, so I'm going to leave it there. And okay, ban him. I didn't do that. That wasn't me. Thank you all for watching. That's the
All right,
that's
we
the
are
silver game for us.
we are going to be getting into the gold match in a couple of minutes, featuring casters, myself, and X-Line. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you stick around for another exciting game of Rise of the Summoners. I am Sir Potato, joined by Can Opener Dude, and we will be right back with another game.
See ya.
Hello? Who is it? It's fucking weird.
I stayed up for the blue moon, but I woke up in the dark. There's a tear across the sky tonight that's echoed in my heart. I see your truth, the strength that lies buried at your root. I know you're beautiful, tethered by the path you had to choose. I've watched Diana cross the sky, slowly dancing past 1,000 eyes. They can't see her disguise or break through her armor of light. But I know you're true, the strength that lies buried at your root. Why lies are you sympathy left home? 'Cause you didn't really need it. No lines left to cross, no as we fall. Telling me I have to go. 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 Telling me I have to Why lies are you sympathy left home? 'Cause you didn't really need it. No lines left to cross, no as we fall. Telling me I have to go. 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 Telling me I have to Why lies are you sympathy left home? 'Cause you didn't really need it. No lines left to cross, no as we fall. Telling me I have to go. 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 Telling me I have to Telling me I have to Why lies are you sympathy left home? 'Cause you didn't really need it. No lines left to cross, no as we fall. Telling me I have to go. Telling me I have to go. Telling me I have to go. Telling me I have to
Despite the war in my head, said hello to you. You didn't notice my eyes. They were chasing yours all around the room. Chasing yours all around the room. I used to be in love with heartbreak, but now I need drugs to ease the pain. I used to wanna hide my love from you. I used to be in love with heartbreak and internal fires. Now those burning fires fuel my desire for you. Fuel my desire for you. Fuel my desire for you. Despite the words that I say, they never move you. And all the milestones I break become smoke and mirrors, smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors, smoke and mirrors. I used to be in love with heartbreak and internal fires. Now those burning fires fuel my desire for you. Fuel my desire for you. For you. Fuel my desire for you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third game today of Rise of the Summoners, featuring Team Mountain versus Team Air. My name is Sir Potato the Ninth, joined here by X-Line, and we are getting back into picks and bans with Orin Bandaway right away.
Yeah, Orin definitely a super strong pick despite the nerfs in the most recent patch. No real surprise to see him banned out first. I don't think the nerfs did quite enough. We do have an Ezreal ban showing here, although Zoe was actually first banned for Red Side in the pro draft that we did. So I don't know that they're necessarily sticking exactly to the same order that they banned them in previously.
I think Ezreal is still a very good ban, though. I mean, he's still so powerful with Kleptomancy. He can proc it so easily, and there's really not any downside to taking it. So it's not that shocking to see Ezreal banned away.
He did have his Q buff reverted, and then I know his attack speed is going down, but I don't know if that patch is live yet. But if they just aren't super comfortable playing against Ezreal, I can certainly see that ban. Rounding out the bans are Malzahar, Misfortune, and
Oh.
apologies, my mic came unglued from my headset.
All right. Well, Poppy first picked. Following up is the Maokai and Rammus, two very difficult to kill champions, and then the Kayn and Anivia locked in for Team Mountain.
Yeah, the Anivia was actually the very first pick for Team Mountain. They prioritized that very heavily, so looking to see what Xavier can do on this Anivia since they did first pick that for him. And then the Corki and the Maokai were the first two picks for Team Air when it came back around to them. So I guess they feel pretty comfortable in the Corki matchup in mid against Anivia. Once Anivia gets 6, obviously she can shove pretty aggressively. But I do think Corki has the advantage in lane before that, especially if he can start getting some roams, maybe with the package down to bot lane or something like that. So it'll be interesting to see how that matchup plays out. Maokai just a really strong, solid tank up in the top lane, and then again Rammus another strong tank with good ganks and engages. I think they had a very clear plan in mind with their support composition around the Corki mid and their AD carry with a lot of tankiness and a lot of peel.
Yeah, right now we see Anivia with Ignite, which is not generally the best summoner spell to take on Anivia, but
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Ignite on Anivia. I think Teleport's probably best. But if that's what he's comfortable with, then let him stay in his comfort zone and let him do him. Maybe if there's an opportunity for some learning in terms of the macro play with the teleport or something like that, that's something that they can cover in the VOD review or something like that. So
yeah, unless this is going to be a full AP assassin Anivia, in which case I fully support Ignite Anivia.
So rounding out the picks, we do see Twitch Janna in the bottom lane, which is pretty strong. Twitch is a really strong hyper carry, AD carry right now. I think he and Tristana are probably two of the top tier AD carries right now, so no big surprise to see the two of them picked. Team Air clearly has two AD carries they want to kind of protect and just kind of death ball around with Maokai, Rammus, and Lulu with a lot of peel, a lot of shielding, a lot of CC and disengage and things like that. I wouldn't expect to see them try to do a whole lot of like split pushing or anything like that. Maokai could technically split, but I think they're going to try to do a big 5v5 kind of situation. Team Mountain, in terms of what their composition is trying to do, they certainly could try to do a split push with Anivia or something like that, but I think they just want to kind of stall the game out, get a big Twitch, get a big Anivia, and then just kind of try to snowball from there. Kayn certainly has some assassination potential on these two AD carries in Corki and Tristana, but it really depends on how well Lulu can get those shields and how well Maokai and Rammus can get that disengage with the CC on the Kayn when he's trying to assassinate the two of them. So it'll be really interesting to see how that kind of plays out. I think Mountain wants to kind of delay the game as much as possible, which is not really something you usually think of when you're up against Tristana and a Corki on the other team, and they're kind of trying to protect those. But Twitch and Anivia have a very, very strong late game as well. So.
Yeah, I think with the Maokai and the Rammus, they're going to be building so much armor. It's going to be pretty difficult for Don't Die in Vain and Mew on Twitch and Kayn to be able to get that damage onto the back line if they're just standing behind their tanks, which is really what you'd want to be seeing with two hyper tanks. So I guess we will just have to wait it out and see how this game unfolds. So until this spectator delay runs out, we are going to be throwing on some music, and we will be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Learning Fives Day 1 Game 3 of Rise of the Summoners. I am Sir Potato, joined here by X-Line, and we are getting onto the Rift right now.
Looks like we're going for a 4-man stack here in bottom for the blue team. Looking
Alright.
probably just to protect their own jungle here against an invade.
Yeah, I don't think either team really has that powerful of an invading. I mean, sure, you got the Rammus Taunter, you have the Anivia stun, but I don't think either of those are good enough to guarantee a kill or even an objective stealing. But anyways, we have Team Mountain and Team Air, and on Team Mountain, you got El Clarkinator on Poppy in the top lane, Mew on Kayn in the jungle, Elite Four, Xavier on Anivia in the mid lane, Don't Die in Vain, and Mike Jones on ADC and support respectively in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think either team really has a super strong level 1, so I think they're both just try to play it safe, make sure they don't get invaded, and execute their game plans without anything going super awry. Kayn, of course, starting on Raptors because he's Kayn and that's what he does. Rammus getting a leash in the bottom lane. No huge surprises there.
Yeah. Ignite Anivia, like we said, we're not huge fans of it. I mean, obviously it does have some potential. Anivia can get kills, but I don't think that Ignite on Anivia is the optimal summoner spell to be taking.
It is interesting to note that Janna took Spell Thieves instead of the Ancient Coin line. Janna can actually either take either one of those, but in lanes that are heavy on poke, like a Janna lane, oftentimes, or I'm sorry, a Lulu lane, oftentimes the Jannas will opt into the Ancient Coin line simply so you don't get into a situation where you get poked out more when you're trying to poke to proc your Spell Thieves edge. So that'll be something interesting to watch in the bottom lane to see those two supports trying to proc that Spell Thieves and see who can kind of get the better of that.
Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah, I have heard Janna called the new brand, and I gotta say I kind of agree with that. Janna's able to utilize Summon Ares so well and get so much damage off with Zephyr. It's a little insane if you think, like, Janna's just a healing support. Oh my goodness, just call me Frost. Force Flash and heal away from Elite Xavier. Okay, well, Ignite Anivia showing that it does have the power to force the laner, or the opposing laner, out of lane. Interesting.
We kind of touched on that with the first pick for Xavier. It's probably a comfort pick for him, and so if he's used to playing Ignite Anivia in the mid lane, oftentimes comfort picks and things you're familiar with can be better than picking for a specific comp or picking for meta, things like that. Because the more comfortable you are, the less time you're thinking and reacting. You just kind of play your game. So
Absolutely.
it looks like that's kind of paying off for him here early as he's able to kind of force a base for Corki. But Corki not actually losing any minions.
Top lane getting ganked up right now. El Clarkinator in a very bad spot. Force Flash away. Aggravating, flashing in as well. Now Mew coming in, joining in on the fight. El Clarkinator not dead yet. Aggravating, taking a lot of damage from Mew. First blood going over to Mew. And now Technical getting pretty chunked out. The stun coming in. And that is going to be another kill for El Clarkinator. Very good turn by El Clarkinator. Biding his time. Waiting for Mew to get in. Forcing the flash out of aggravating, and ending up getting 2 kills for the price of the enemy top laner's flash.
Great
Very good trade.
I do think he should have helped the Poppy push the wave in to try to force Maokai to lose some minions. He does have teleport, so I don't know how many he would have lost. You might have been able to force him to lose 1 or 2. And then he might have even actually been able to counter jungle the Gromp. Just to kind of starve Rammus of a little bit more gold and XP. But still a great job to turn that gank, get 2 kills out of it. Like you said, really well played by the Poppy to kind of wait around and dance back in and then get the stun.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, Just Call Me Frost did get some boots when he backed. An Elite Four Xavier still has not backed. So he does have the movement speed advantage at least. But when Elite Four Xavier does back, he's going to be able to get a lot more damage on Just Call Me Frost, and he's already been able to turn the lane in his favor a little bit just by the way that he's manipulated the minion wave.
So one of the interesting things to kind of keep an eye on here is the jungle matchup after Kayn kind of gets that lead, turning that double kill up in top lane. Kane farms a lot faster than Rammus does, but Rammus's big strength is his ability to gank and kind of get his lanes ahead. If Kane is able to kind of match in that farm and then just also counter gank every time the Rammus shows up, he's spending a lot less time walking towards like being proactive with the ganks and spending less time kind of being reactive. So he can certainly kind of keep that advantage going if that's the route he takes, because Rammus can't really afford to just kind of sit back and farm all day. I think his lanes will fall too far behind if he tries to do that, just because Kane is such a faster farmer than he is.
Yeah, and I definitely think that Kane and Anivia synergize very well, because Anivia has the slow and has the stun, allowing Kane to get in, get the damage off onto Corki. So that's definitely a very good lane for Mew to be spending time in.
A lot of wards here for red side. Good job by Team Air getting the entire river kind of warded up. They saw the Kane coming, pinged it out, even got another ward in their try just to make sure he wasn't coming from behind to do any kind of cheese gang through the wall because he's Kane. And they were able to kind of stay safe there. Looks like the Twitch Janna are going to go ahead and take a recall here. It'll be interesting to see if Team Air shoves this hard. It looks like they are going to hard shove this. They do know they're gone now. So they're going to try to make them lose some gold and XP. Tristana, obviously very good at shoving waves quickly. So they're going to shove and take a base as well. Behind about 10 CS. Let's see. She is going to be able to get that BF sword on the back. I actually think the BF sword is going to be pretty comparable to that Bilgewater Cutlass, even though Twitch does have that CS lead. They're able to get
coming in. The ulti coming out from El Clarkinator denies Technical that gank. But right now, Elite Four Xavier is walking up towards Technical, gets the ulti down, looking for the stun, barely misses the wall, does not let him get the stun. Technical flashes away and starts to back in the top lane. And now Mew is joining in on the fight. This is going to be a 2v3 underneath the tower. It looks like Technical is starting to back. Oh, nope. Elite Four Xavier canceling the back with his ultimate. Now Mew underneath the tower, getting rooted by aggravating, getting the kill onto Mew. That was very poor dive by Mew. The ulti coming out from aggravating, and now the ultimate coming in from Elite Four Xavier, and the stopwatch has been used in the top lane. El Clarkinator has taken out aggravating, meanwhile in the bottom lane, Don't Die in Vain is going to be healing and dying in vain, and now Sayorain is getting the damage necessary. Celldweller trying to take out Mike Jones. Mike Jones running away with his life.
Yeah, I didn't exactly see how the start of that fight in bottom lane went down, but I am kind of surprised that Twitch and Janna were opting into that fight. Maybe they didn't really have a choice, but typically in a Janna lane, you want to kind of just sit back and not necessarily, I don't want to say lose the lane gracefully, but by not losing the lane, you're winning the lane, right? Because
yeah,
you're going to outscale. So if they did opt into the fight.
Sayorain in a bad spot, Celldweller as well. The Wild Growth has been used, a heal coming out from Sayorain, and Mew getting slowed up. So Summoner Spell and an ulti burned in the bottom lane, and now Technical onto Mew. Sayorain, Celldweller coming up. Mew looking to get a kill on Sayorain, but there's not enough damage. Uses his ulti offensively. Now Mew in such a bad spot actually gets away with Shadow Walk and does escape that gank. Flash forward from Clarkinator, gets a stun onto Just Call Me Frost. Just Call Me Frost himself flashing away, using Valkyrie, and is going to be escaping with the rest of his team. Nobody dying there, but the dragon is going to be alive and going to be started up by Team Mountain.
Okay, it looks like Team Air doesn't want to contest this mountain here. I don't know that I necessarily agree with some of these decisions to kind of engage some of these fights here. Like Kane came in, I don't think he really had any kill potential when he came in and started trying to fight, and then the Rammus came around and was like aggressively trying to force the engage again on the Kane when his bottom lane was already out clean. It seems like there's a lot of fighting for the sake of fighting, but they do end up getting the dragon out of it. Does Team Mountain? So
I think that goes further back because Sayorain and Celldweller, they ended up killing Don't Die in Vain, and Sayorain just had some awkward positioning where he just walked behind their enemy bottom lane's tower. And he was just in this really weird spot, and Mew started coming up, and that's really when the engage started because of Sayorain's awkward positioning. I think that was kind of a cause that they ended up losing the dragon. So an event much earlier caused an objective to be taken. It's crazy how that works.
I agree. I just like even despite the awkward positioning, I don't think Kane really had the kill potential and didn't really need to go in. And like
No.
if Rammus just recognizes that they're probably not going to kill that Kane there, and instead of powerballing around behind the dragon pit, just like postures up in front of it, they can either get some wards down and let their bottom lane base, not that they're out clean and got that double kill, or potentially even posture to take the dragon. The reason that they ended up giving the dragon over to Team Mountain is because they tried to take that fight, and it ended up not going in their favor, and they got kind of pushed off there. So I don't know if necessarily they were trying to take that fight with objectives in mind, or if they were trying to fight just for the sake of fighting. But certainly something to kind of keep in mind when you're opting into those skirmishes there.
Mhm.
At least
All
do
right.
see Kane up here in the top side.
Yeah, I don't think Maokai is the best person that you want to be ganking, or really even setting up a dive for. So hopefully he just goes towards these Krugs.
Yeah, I would certainly agree with that. I don't think they have a whole lot of kill potential here on the Maokai.
Technical with the lane gank onto Elite Four Xavier. Not actually going to commit to it though. Yeah, I mean Maokai is definitely not a champion that you want to be spending a lot of time in because he has such good peel. And he's able to get himself out of slippery situations with the 2 roots that he has and the stun. There's really not a lot that you can do. But regardless, Mew and El Clarkinator are going in anyways. Mew is playing on the damage quite a lot. Now El Clarkinator is in a bit of a sketchy situation behind the enemy tower. Mew taking tower aggro again, uses the ulti, is at half health, stunned underneath the tower. El Clarkinator gets taken out by Mew, or by aggravating. And now
Any
aggravating
problems with the future.
getting the second tower shot. Actually going on to aggravating, getting a double kill. Yeah, not shocking. Like we said, Maokai's not the person you want to be diving. He can peel for himself so well. He got the stuns underneath the tower. He got the roots underneath the tower. And because of that, the enemy jungler is dead. So Sayorain, Celldweller, and Just Call Me Frost end up taking the tier 1 bottom tower. So definitely not a good gank.
I don't even really think the execution was that bad. The decision making in general to go for that just seems a little poor. Rammus correctly recognizes that Kane is occupied in topside for like probably close to a minute between counter jungling the Raptors and like just the length of time he was hovering around and the amount of time that dive took. So he just goes down bottom lane with his bot lane that already got a lead earlier. And just says, "Hey, we'll take this tower for free." So we got first tower gold, and
Okay.
we're back in this game.
Yeah. And right now, the red team, your Team Air's first tower in the mid lane, is going to be what looks to be the next objective for Team Mountain. They have a very large minion wave crashing into that tower in the bottom lane, so it does make sense to go onto this bottom tower. Just Call Me Frost gets chunked pretty low by Elite Four Xavier. Mew with the Shadow Walk. In a bad spot. He gets a knockup onto Technical and Celldweller. Celldweller using the Wild Growth on himself, jumping over the wall, and now Technical flashing back into his team. Mike Jones getting the knockup, and now Technical ignited. Mike Jones gets the kill.
Tristana is farming bottom and should be roaming up to assist her
Celldweller.
support here with this
In a
Kane.
very bad spot, forced to flash over the wall. Now Mew shadow stepping over the wall and getting some autos off. The polymorph coming through, not allowing him to get much more. Sayorain getting knocked up by Mew. And now Mew getting the return damage from Sayorain. Now Just Call Me Frost in very awkward spots, and he is going to get dived by El Clarkinator. Teleport coming in from aggravating. El Clarkinator forced to disengage, and now aggravating, walking into 3 members, dodging a tornado, but not dodging the rest of the damage. In a very bad spot, aggravating stunned up, using his ulti, but a late forward Xavier does get the kill. El Clarkinator using the ultimate to get the knockup on a Just Calling Frost, and Frost dies. Don't die in vain.
These are just constant fights here, just
Absolutely.
non-stop action.
It's not a Learning Fives game without constant, non-stop excitement.
We had Chase going down up on the bottom side, down into bottom lane. We had dives going on in mid that were disengaged and re-engaged. In the end, the mid turret is going to go down for Team Air. Team Mountain does even that up in terms of the turret score and take a 2k gold lead.
Oh, Clarkinator! Gets knocked past his teammate's wall. Now Technical getting knocked up by Mew. Mew ending up... Oh, not taking a kill. Don't die in vain takes a kill. That's another time that Technical goes in without his team and ends up getting taken out. So he's 0-4 right now, which is not an ideal score, but the second dragon is spawning in. and there's no jungler to contest that. So
Yeah, without a tier 1 mid turret, I don't think you want to really be up that far, especially with your team a little bit farther back. And we are going to see this Infernal going down, so Team Mountain has a pretty solid lead right now, about 2k gold, as well as the Dragon advantage with both the Infernal and the Ocean Drake that they took earlier. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from here in terms of leveraging this. I think probably what they want to do is get their AD carry and their support in bottom lane, and then have their mid laner continue to shove up the mid wave and their top laner go bottom. But that does not look like what they're going to do here.
no, sir. All right, build the red buff's being taken, and now the Rift Herald is going to be the next global objective that is going to be contested. Neither team has stellar vision on it. Team Mountain does have a control ward. And now, speaking of Team Mountain, El Clarkinator in the top lane, trying his best to defend this tower, uses his wave clear, but now 5 men in the top lane.
Team Air is clearly prioritizing the top lane turrets. They agree with me that these two low health top lane outers are probably the best point of contention on this.
All right,
map.
El Clarkinator getting engaged on by aggravating. Not fully committing to the fight though.
Twitch is so far away from this fight because he's having to walk all the way from bottom lane. And it looks like he's just going to go back and farm mid. Looks like everyone has decided to just kind of handshake on this disengage here, which is the first time I have said that this game.
Yeah, very much so a stalemate in which neither team actually going to be pulling the trigger. Actually, I might have spoken too soon. 4 members of Team Mountain looking to contest this red tower, and nobody from Team Air is going to be walking up and trying to take this.
Yeah, they've actually got people up here in the top lane to take their turret now. So in the end, they eventually get the objective that I think they should have been going for all along. And now looks like they're going to turn their sights onto the Rift Herald, which is a strong objective to help crack a tier 2 turret. I think they'll probably base and reset after this. At least I would if I were them. And then if you're Team Air here, maybe try to shove up mid and see if you can get something while they're basing. You at least delay their back and their reset there by shoving the wave. So
I gotta say, Elite Four Xavier really making us eat our own words, as he is 2-0-3 with a 1.2 thousand gold lead on Just Call Me Frost. Absolutely dominant performance on this Ignites Ignivia that everybody was not a fan of. Technical. Oh man, he's getting stunned up all around. He ends up getting knocked into a wall. He ends up getting stunned by
probably
Elite Four
using the
Xavier.
Ignivia wall for the stun.
Cell Dweller used Wild
Synergy.
Growth, but it wasn't enough. Yeah, that was really well coordinated. And they ended up just killing him without giving him any room to counterplay.
So it's interesting that it looks like they're gonna have Kane split bottom and try to get this turret while they pressure mid. Kane is certainly a champion that can split push. Typically more when he's ahead and has the ability to kind of one shot.
El Clarkinator using the ulti, getting polymorph though, not able to cast the second cast.
But I think he's just gonna be uncontested anyway, and he does have the Rift Herald as well. So
Yeah, he's going to be able to take that tower without anybody being able to say anything otherwise about it.
it's interesting they decided to use the Rift Herald on the tier 1 though. I think that tier 1 is one that they probably could have gotten. I don't want to say whenever, but they could have probably gotten that without the Rift Herald and used Rift Herald on tier 2. But
Elite Four Xavier getting the stun onto aggravating, probably pretty aggravated, uses his ulti defensively, and ends up getting taken out by Don't Die in Vain. Now Technical going in without his team, getting stunned up. Now Clarkinator maybe looking in for the tackle. Force flash away. Now is Seorain getting deleted by Mew under his own inhibitor tower. That's gotta hurt. And now Mew going in with the Rift Herald and 3 of his teammates taking this tier 2 tower in the bottom lane.
as soon as I say that I think they could get tier 2 with the Herald, they're able to rotate from middle lane and actually cut off the rotation path for Team Air and kill them while the Rift Herald is still doing work on the tier 2 bottom. So they end up actually getting their cake and eating it too. So good job from them in terms of recognizing the rotations and playing with some solid macro play there to end up getting 2 objectives and some kills.
All right.
So let's see, after this reset, I'm sure they have a ton of money because some of them didn't base even after that Rift Herald and taking top tier 1. So let's see. Poppy's just going to continue getting tankier, no surprise there.
There is a 6,000 or 5,000 5,500 gold lead in favor of Team Mountain. Mew onto Technical, getting the knock up. Technical is so slow for Rammus. Oh my goodness. That's gotta hurt. Don't die in vain, clearing some vision on Baron, which could be an objective very easily taken by Team Mountain. Team Mountain is in the driver's seat of this game right now.
So here, if you're Team Air, obviously you're behind. You know you're behind. The main thing you want to do is try to get some wards in your own jungle, so you don't get picked off. Because right now, the most dangerous thing is when you don't have vision and you go to try to get vision, or you go to try to contest an objective, and because you don't have vision, you get picked off in the jungle. That's how games snowball out of control. So you want to try to delay the game as much as possible, farm it out, catch these waves that are pushing into you, get vision in your own jungle if you can, maybe try to get some advantageous picks. Looks like they did find Poppy here. I don't know if they'll be able to kill her out before her team gets here, though, and they need to kind of back off.
Yep, big team fight breaking out. Now Team Air are trying to get onto the carries of Team Mountain. Don't die in vain. Force a heal flash away. And now this team fight seems to be going very much so in favor of Team Air. Oh, wait. I spoke too soon. Technical and Mew getting some cleanups right now. Mew is looking for Saorain. Saorain in a very bad spot. Ends up getting taken out by El Clarkinator, and Team Mountain are going to be looking to take this tower.
So that's what I was talking about. Like, if you can get a pick, go ahead and try to take it. But as soon as you don't get that pick and the team arrives, you've got to back up, because you can't win that straight up team fight. Anivia wasn't even there for half the fight, and they still just got wiped. You have to back up and just, say, hey, we're not going to win this fight. Let me back up to the tower. Let's try to get some farm. They end up losing that fight and losing the Infernal Drake as well. Just a little bit too aggressive there in trying to make something happen when they're behind. And unfortunately, it kind of continues to snowball further and further against them.
All right. So what do you think Team Air can be doing right now in order to mitigate the damage that they're taking?
The same kind of thing that we're talking about earlier, just ward up your jungle. Make sure you have vision. Try to get picks and advantageous fights if you can, but recognize when you don't have numbers and you don't have a good fight and you can back up and disengage. Try to fight under your towers if you can. Try to get farm on your Tristana so that she can deal damage and carry. They have two strong carries in Corki and Tristana, and they've got Peel and shielding for them. So if they can get some farm on them and kind of stall this game out a little bit, they might have a chance. But the more you try to accelerate the game and opt into fights, the more it's just going to go against you, because you don't win the fights right now.
Okay, it looks like Elite Four Xavier. Oh my goodness, going to be engaged on by Saorain and the friends. Going to be using
Baron?
Johnny's.
Okay.
Baron is coming in big. Saorain takes a lot of damage. Wild Growth is being forced out of Seldwell to keep Saorain alive. And it looks like Team Air is collectively backing off right now. And Team Mountain have uncontested control over this Baron right now. So it looks like they are going to be starting it. Don't know why Direct Cameras doesn't decide to go to it. But anyways, Baron is being started. Team Air all showing on the map. None of them deciding to contest this. The Baron has been taken by Team Mountain.
Baron with Santa hat, just to clarify there. That is Santa Baron. Is this top turret going to go down? Nivea should have taken that blast cone over. She could have gotten there maybe in time? That's hard to say. Alright, so they looked for a pick on Anivia, and then once the team was kind of in the river backing up Anivia, they did correctly realize they don't win that fight, and they did correctly back off. It is unfortunate that due to the proximity of where that was going on, it means they're basically immediately giving up a Baron, but that's still the correct decision there to give up the Baron. It sucks. It doesn't feel great to have to give up a Baron, but if you try to contest there, I don't think it's going to end well for you. So I think your strategy and your avenue towards winning this game is still just kind of turtle, clear waves, and try to get your carries big, and maybe you can win a fight in the late game. Tristana does a ton of damage in the late game. Maybe you catch a Twitch out or something like that, and you get like a Lulu ult on your Trist, and you make something happen.
We will have to wait and see. Technical's had a very rough game. 0-6 right now. Not to say that he hasn't been putting himself in a position where he has been dying a lot, but
he did get first blood turret when that gank was going awry in top lane, so he correctly recognized that and got the turret down in bottom lane. So he's just been kind of out of position a couple times, and then of course once the game starts snowballing against you, and you're the tank that's behind, and you're not able to actually tank, that's usually going to be a bad time for you. So, not his favorite game. One I'm sure he's I don't want to say he'll be happy to forget, because it's a learning opportunity and everything like that, but. Certainly not his favorite game, I'm sure. So we have
Not a
Sieges
very
going on
fun
2
lesson.
lanes here.
Yeah, the Baron is definitely empowering the Sieges right now. They're going to be able to take do a lot of damage to these towers.
They do have some decent wave clear.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Technical getting stunned up, getting knocked up. Elite Four Xavier does take him out. And now everybody is laying down the damage. Aggravating, very far out of position, ends up getting taken out by Don't Die in Vain. Now Mew underneath the tower is going to get taken out by Saorain, but it does seem that Team Mountain still has a very large advantage. Now the
this
minions
is
are
so
being
huge. Kane is flaming Jaina for not shielding him when he was on that dive there, but
the next
I
turret.
don't know if that's happening in the voice comms right now. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it was on cooldown, but it looked like Jaina was just like not aware that he was diving over on the side there and taking out a couple of members of Team Air, but they do end up getting 2 inhibs out of it and going 2 for 1 in that fight, so it's not the worst.
2 inhibitors down, and Team Mountain are going to decide to take their bow and back off.
Yeah, I think they need to reset and then group in top lane to try to get that tier 2 and push towards the last inhibitors there. I don't
Right
think
now-
that is what they're doing.
Right now, Team Mountain has such good vision control. In Team Air, they have 5 wards. Actually, they have 7 wards that they're able to place right now. Now 6. That's not really something that you want to be seeing from a team that's so far behind.
Well, at the same time, sometimes you're not able to get in position to place them, right?
Mhm.
Like if you don't have vision, you can't necessarily always walk into an area to get vision because it's not always safe. So
Yeah,
that's one of the bonuses of the blue trinket is you can place it from kind of far away.
Don't Die in Vain and Elite Four Xavier onto Aggravating. Aggravating flashing away. Nothing else coming with that.
It looks like Kane
Oh,
is actually
never
going to
mind.
finish this off.
Yep, Mew walking in, getting the knockup, Aggravating, taking the damage, and now using his Righteous Glory, but his efforts were in vain, and Aggravating is taken down by Mew.
So it looks like they're just warding up the jungle, taking any camps that are there. Poppy's slow shoving the wave, and Nivea's getting blue, but it looks like they are all 5 going to be converging on this tier 2 in top lane. Team Air can try to defend this as long as they take a safe path to do it. They may end up just having to give it up and defend in their base though, which yeah, they're not going to be able to get there in time. The main thing is you don't want to walk in an unsafe way, like across that blast cone that's like wildly warded up, and just like get some person picked off for free. You want to be kind of walking as a team. But
Oh, Technical getting the. Oh no! All right, both teams getting damage down, and now Saorain dragging Mew very far into his team. Mew ends up taking or falling, but Team Mountain are looking for this inhibitor after they take the inhibitor tower, and they are going to be taking this without too much contest. The wall has been placed by Elite Four Xavier, zoning off plenty of people. And now it seems like Team Air are on the front foot, but Team Mountain are disengaging and running away. There are 3 inhibitors down, ladies and gentlemen, so the Nexus is going to be the next target. There are 2 super minions spawning every 30 seconds in lane.
You don't want to fight if you're Team Mountain. You just want to kind of walk the minions in, and like if you can hit the turret safely, hit them. If not, just kind of like harass and poke at the other champions who are trying to clear these supers. But you don't
This
want
is
to
a very bad spot. Team Air are looking for their final engage of the game, and the ultimate has been used by Aggravating, jumping into Saorain, and now the Poppy with big ultimate, forcing Aggravating and Technical into a terrible spot. Aggravating gets taken out after Technical is taken out. Now this is going to be a 5v3, the final push towards this Nexus. Just Call Me Frost is forced to back off, and now Saorain, Just Call Me Frost, and Cell Dweller are forced to watch as their Nexus is going to be deleted. Frost gets taken out, and now this is a 4v2. The Nexus is taking damage. Saorain trying to get the damage onto El Clarkinator, but it doesn't look like he has enough. The minions are coming in. The stun into the wall. Now the Nexus has fallen, and now Team Mountain remain victorious in the end. The Ignite in Nivea showing everybody who is boss. El Clarkinator in the top lane on a dominant performance, and everybody else contributing towards this victory.
Yeah, that one was just kind of one that snowballed from the laning phase. I think Team Mountain had the lead for most of the game. Outside of the failed dive on the Maokai, for the most part, I think they played pretty well. I don't think they made any egregious errors there. They closed it out pretty cleanly from a macro perspective. I think Team Air, outside of maybe a couple fights that they should have taken once they were already behind. I think they played decently towards their win conditions there. They did recognize, not to walk one by one to try to defend that tier 2 and top. And once they were triple racks, they realized they needed to engage and try to take the fight. Otherwise, they were just going to kind of get bled out by the double waves of supers there. So definitely a lot to learn and take away from this game for these teams once they do the reviews with their coaches. So hopefully they'll be able to put that to the test next time they play and kind of learn from it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for the North American Gold games, and that is also going to be doing it for me, Sir Potato. And next game, we are going to have the North American Platinum games featuring Team Ocean and Team Infernal, casted by Exline and Niberia. Exline and Zeta. Excuse me. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you stick around and watch these increasingly interesting games, or the increasingly high elo games. And do you have any closing thoughts, Exline?
I think I covered most of it in the spiel I just did there. So, like I said, I hope these guys can kind of watch these VODs and learn from them and apply that in their future games and improve.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out the Discord server if you're not already part of it, and check out the Twitter pages of myself and Learning Fives and Exline, and we will be right back.
Our backs against the wall. It seems impossible, but there's nobody else I want by my side, standing with me to take this fight through the rise and fall. With our fearless hearts, we could be ours, and we could live for 1,000 years. We could be legends if we all go down. If our time is now, we could let everyone know we were here. Be legends. We dream so colorful. Oh, we love so strong. The world is relentless, the city won't sleep. It hardens your soul, brings you to your knees. We can face it all. With our fearless hearts, we could be ours, and we could live for 1,000 years. We could be legends if we all go down. If our time is now, we could let everyone know we were here. Be legends.
Anywhere you go, I'll be right there. 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 I will. I'll
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Sorry for the delays. We've been having a little bit of pick and ban issues, but of course, we power through it, and we are here with the NA Platinum game for Rise of the Summoners, hosted by Learning Fives. I am, of course, Zeta. Joining me, the wonderful X-Line. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm going to do better once this game gets underway. I'm super excited to see and learn from these teams. Let's see what they've got prepped and what they have for us today. It should be a very, very interesting set of games. After all, both teams spending the whole day with a coach and then getting to showcase their skills in the show match and really, bring to bear new meta, new techniques from these high elo coaches. They're just helping them all out. And we've got Elise plus Jarvan. Jarvan going to be flexing towards that top side into the Maokai. Definitely an interesting pick there. And the Gragas cured on the other side.
Yeah, I think it's no one's surprised that Zoe and Ornn are banned out again. We do also see the Janna banned out as well. Super strong support pick. Jhin and Aurelion Sol are kind of some interesting bans, but those might be some target bans there. I'm not entirely sure, but as you touched on, we do have the Jarvan up in top lane against Maokai. I think that's a fine pick into that matchup. I think a lot of times you end up having like a tank v tank fight, so you have a little bit of a different axis there with Jarvan, who's a little bit more of a fighter. So it'll be interesting to see how that matchup evolves.
Yeah, and with that, we do have the Syndra selected next bans. The Tryndamere actually being banned out with the Maokai already secured. A little bit interesting there.
Yeah, I think that one was a ban that ran out of time, and it was kind of like a placeholder. And then the coach said, "Yeah, it's Tryndamere, but that one doesn't really matter." So I don't know if that was an intentional ban in that regard, since the top laners are already.
The Jace ban is interesting too, because the J4 is already secured. You see the Syndra as well. You know that Jace can't go mid or top lane. Ban Jace anyway.
Literally just picking for bottom lane here, so these might just be throwaway bans.
It's possible. It's quite possible. But then wouldn't you also want to ban for bottom lane? After all, Ashe, Miss Fortune, Leona, all still on the table.
Tristana, Twitch, all of those are really strong. We do get Ashe, very strong engage with that Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and a lot of really good follow up with Jarvan. Obviously, Elise has the Cocoon that can follow up, and Syndra just unload a bucket full of damage as well. So definitely the makings of a pick comp here on the side of Team Infernal, and Thresh, of course, just adds to that as well. Whereas it looks like Team Ocean wants to do a little bit more team fighting. They've got a lot of AoE abilities. Obviously, Miss Fortune is known for her ultimate, the bullet time there. No Mummy ultimate to kind of hold him in place, but maybe Maokai Roots can kind of serve as a pseudo curse there to hold for the bullet time. But lots of AoE with the Xerath and the Gragas, lots of CC as well. From Maokai and Gragas, and Lulu is a way to kind of protect and disengage for the Miss Fortune. So I think we'll see them try to do a lot more 5v5 team fighting, whereas Team Infernal, while they can do team fighting, probably looking to do a little bit more of like a pick comp situation.
Pick comps should be the name of the game, and they have a lot of pick tools, that's for sure. They've got Ashe Ultimate, they've got Syndra Stuns, they've got Elise Cocoons, and to wrap it all up, of course, they've got Death Sentences and Jarvans, and when that's all said and done, right, these two compositions, one very pick-heavy, the other one would almost say very meta-dependent. Who do you think's really got the better composition coming out of this pick-and-ban phase?
Well, I really like Team Infernal just because I think they have a lot of early aggression abilities. Obviously, Elise is known as an early game jungler, and especially with Elise Suckme being the name of the Elise player, formerly known as Sabin. I know he's very well experienced on both Elise and Lee Sin, so he's a guy that likes that early aggression on his junglers. Jarvan obviously has a lot of potential to make some plays in some early 2v2 skirmishes. Ashe and Thresh can make some stuff happen as well. I feel like Team Ocean needs a little bit more time to kind of scale up to do their thing, which is certainly not a bad thing in terms of what you're looking for with your team comp, but in terms of personal preference, I tend to like a little bit more early aggression, try to get that snowball happening, see if maybe you can force some mistakes, force people to play on your terms. But as long as Team Ocean plays towards their win condition and they kind of delay some of those fights early, then I think they certainly have an advantage to kind of take it home as we move more into like the mid game or the late game, if that's the way the game falls.
And you said that if they go towards the mid and late game, it might turn out in their favor. Do you think that it's impossible then for the Xerath to make plays in the late game for them to, compete with his damage?
I think Xerath can certainly make plays all throughout the mid game and the late game. He's got a ton of damage in his kit, lots of sieging potential as well. If you're rolling up mid and trying to take that tier 2, he can kind of siege up and drop some of that Arcane Barrage down. Gragas can maybe kind of pick somebody off with a barrel or something like that. But that's not to say that Team Infernal doesn't have things that they can do in the late game. Elise is kind of known as somebody who falls off a little bit in the late game. Jarvan falls off a little bit, but he can certainly kind of transition into kind of an off-tank kind of build. And Syndra, if she's ahead, can still kind of delete somebody from 0. But I think the longer it goes, the more it's going to tend to favor Team Ocean, all things being equal. But of course, anything can happen.
Anything can happen, and anything might happen. Just 30 seconds left before we load onto the Rift for our Platinum game. And I kind of probed you. You said a little bit of a vague prediction. I want you to nail it down right here, right now. Who do you think is walking away with the victory, just based on comp?